is incomplete. Poole could not get around Ralph Brown that time. Brown, just a freshman, getting a start.
First play, hitch and go. Ralph Brown was having nothing to do with that. Hope to get the young guy to bite on the hitch route and get a big play on the first play of the game.
This time Poole comes to the near side. Lindsey Jackson to the far side. They go out of a straight eye formation. And the give this time is to Martin. Martin gets a little gap, steps outside at the 30, first down to the 34-yard line. 14 yards on the carry and a flag. Flag at the end of the run. Eric Stokes made the stop defensively.
Well, great lead blocking that time by the Arizona State offensive line. They had 3 guys going through the hole.
I want to welcome those of you watching the Clemson-Missouri game. Missouri beating the Clemson Tigers 38-24. Good win for Mizzou. Barry Tompkins and Danny White to tell you about this game.
Personal foul on the offense. 15 yards.
And that's exactly the kind of thing that Bruce Snyder said he could not afford. Bad enough that Nebraska is as proficient as they are.
Maybe that's why there was such a big hole there, Barry.
Might have had something to do with it, except I believe it was at the end of the play.
Somebody tomahawked somebody.
Take a look at the lineups. Keith Poole, we talked about him. 3 touchdown catches last week, and he ran a 4th one in. Outstanding skill position people. Juan Roque, I believe, would start for Nebraska. That's a pretty big statement. First down and 10 once again, and the throw is caught by Lindsey Jackson, and I believe he's going to be close to the first down. It'll depend on where the ball is spotted. Ryan Terwilliger made the stop, and I think it will be enough for a first down. The defense brought to you by Southwest, and those 2 outside guys, Wistrom and Tomich, I beg your pardon, outstanding players. That is the strength of Nebraska's defense. Jamel Williams, very quick off the ball in your backfield before you know it. Mike Minder coming off a game in which he had 2 interceptions. The give to Martin. Martin gains 3 on first down.
An excellent start so far, Barry, for ASU's offense. They've had run 4 plays. 3 of them have been successful plays. They're throwing the short passes, running off tackle, running up inside, mixing it up. So far, they're doing exactly what they want to do.
Penalty, of course, really hurt them, and Bruce Snyder said we've got to force them to help us. No penalties, no turnovers, and no assignment errors. This time they bring in motion J.R. Redmond to the near side. Single setback is Polk. Short drop this time, and the throw for Redmond. He's got it at midfield, 45-40. Flag down on the other side of the field, and I don't know what this is all about.
And that flag, Barry, came clear from the back judge, from the back of the defensive secondary. This may be some type of an offensive pass interference call.
Now it's going to be against Nebraska. Eric Stokes made the stop. Might have been a hold against Nebraska somewhere in the secondary. The freshman J.R. Redmond with a fine catch and a perfect throw.
Holding. Defense. Penalties decline. First down.
31 yards on the pass play from Plummer to Redmond.
Yeah, he walks the play here from a tight end zone. This is a great throw by Jake Plummer. Sets his feet, great protection, and he sticks it in there. What a great throw and a great route by a young tailback coming out of the backfield. That's a formation ASU has not shown this year.
Just a freshman, J.R. Redmond. Plummer again back to pass again with time. Throws for Poole. Ball was thrown before Poole made his break, but that's a ball that I'm sure Jake Plummer would like to have back.
Yeah, Jake threw that one just a little bit early. Keith ran a nice route. Needs to wait just a little bit longer. That's strictly a timing throw. Jake hits his 5th step and lets the ball go. And those 5 steps came a little bit quicker that time than they do in practice.
So the numbers on Jake Plummer coming into this ballgame. 6 touchdowns and a single pick. This time they bring Poole in a slot inside of Jackson. They go out of the offset eye. And they give it a draw play. This time to Martin. Gets a step, gets to the 30-yard line. Gain of 7, maybe 8 yards. John Hess on the stop for the Huskers. Bruce Snyder, in our conversation with him, said they felt they might possibly be able to run at Nebraska, and the reason he said that was he said, we can't run away from them. We've got to run at them.
They're so quick outside. Their linebackers are really safeties that have been converted to linebackers. You just can't get around the corners. You got to go up inside.
Third down and 3. 2 tight ends in the ballgame. Give it to Martin. First down inside the 25 to the 23. Eric Stokes on the stop, but not before Michael Martin gained 6, and Martin with 30 yards so far. Michael Martin, a tough back. In fact, he's really out of the mold of the Nebraska running back. 6'1", 210 pounds.
A good size, and he's really running hard tonight, Barry. So far, he's really hitting the holes quickly, making good decisions, and they're already in field goal range.
Martin had a big game. In fact, last time you and I saw him against Washington in the opener. Good win for Arizona State. Short drop. Plummer this time pulls it down, and he himself gets pulled down by Grant Wistrell. Defensive line, as we said, of the Nebraska Cornhuskers, I would have to think there is not a better one in America.
There you see Jake, quick 3-step drop. You better hit your first receiver if you only go 3 steps, because you're only about 4 yards from the line of scrimmage. And this big Nebraska defensive line is just not going to be able to, the offensive line is not going to be able to keep him out of there for very long.
Now that's what that point emphasized in that graphic. This time the blitz comes and a play fake rollout. And Plummer now running out of time. Buys himself a little wide open. Back wide open. Is pulled for the touchdown. And the Sun Devils of Arizona State are on the board first.
Clearly some confusion in the backfield for Nebraska. Watch the extra point here. We'll get another look at it.
Needs to try the point out of the hold of Plummer. It is up and good. Let's take another look.
Here's another look.
Well, we'll go to a break, but you can see what happens. We'll talk about this when we come back. Plummer finding a wide open pool for the score. Sun Devils lead it 7-0.
Big play for Arizona State. Here's Keith Poole in the slot. Lindsey Jackson's going to run straight up the field. The corner plays man. The safety comes off on the run. And Keith Poole is going to be wide open right over the middle of the field.
So, a 7-0 lead. We were talking about this earlier as you take a look.
Clearly some confusion. You got guys playing, some playing man, some playing zone. Someone blew that coverage.
Benning and Green will be the deep men for the Cornhuskers. 100th career touchdown, and none more important than that one, I would have to think. In the mind of Keith Poole, there'll be no run back of this.
I think that one went through the goalpost, Barry.
Marcus Williams can really root the ball. So Scott Frost will come on, a local product who wound up going to Stanford, coming out of high school in Wood River, Nebraska. Actually started a couple of games at quarterback for Stanford as a freshman, then sat out last year. As you look at the offense brought to you by Southwest of the Cornhuskers, Amon Green, and he will share time with Damon Benning. We expect we'll see Jay Sims and probably D'Angelo Davis as well. Eric Anderson, one of the more experienced on the offensive line. They returned 3 off what many people feel was the best offensive line maybe ever. A little movement on the line, we got a flag. And it might have been Eric Anderson who jumped. Derek Rogers came across, and this is going to go against Nebraska. And that's very uncharacteristic early in the ball game for a Nebraska Cornhusker team.
Dead ball. False start.
Yeah, here's Eric Anderson right here. He's going to just jump a little bit just before the snap of the ball. Here comes the movement by the fullback. There you see him move. Good heads-up play by Derek Rogers, the defensive end.
They go out of the straight I formation. The slot left. Amon Green gets the call, and Green will get about 5. Okay, to 4 officially on the play. Let's take a look at the Arizona State defense, brought to you by Southwest. Derek Rogers, who is the newcomer and a guy who really has become a catalyst for this defensive unit. Scott Vander Ahe, experienced at the linebacker spot, experienced everywhere really on this Arizona team. Mitchell Friedman playing with a cast on his hand, so it's going to be interesting to see if he can be as effective as he normally would be. Frost will put it up, rolls away. He's got the whole field to run. It closes down quickly. A flag is down as Frost is down in the arms of Brett Bernstein. And a holding penalty against Nebraska is the early indication. Well, so far this game could not have been scripted any better in the minds of Bruce Snyder and the Arizona State Sun Devils.
No, so far, Barry, it's gone all their way. Great opening drive. Got 7 points on the board, and certainly a different story than the one a year ago in Lincoln.
Illegal block in the back on the offense. Half the distance to the goal. Still second down.
I believe it was Eric Anderson once again. Blocking the back. There it was.
Got a rough start for number 70. 3 wideouts now. Single setback is Green, and Frost checking off. He will do that almost half the time. And the pitch to Green. He loses it. He's in the end zone. Ball is still loose. Knocked off the ball, and it is recovered by. It's going to be a safety. Going to be a safety. When out of bounds, Nebraska last had possession. It'll be a safety. And every break early in this game has gone the way of the Sun Devils. It's going to test the character, I believe, of this Cornhusker team.
Barry, we talked about the fact that this is the second game of the season for Nebraska. Pitch was a little bit short. His fullback Green was a little bit close to Frost that time. I'm sure he would like to have had him a little bit deeper. Fortunately, this ball gets out of bounds for Nebraska. Almost an Arizona State touchdown.
Pat Tillman had his hands on it, couldn't control it. So it is a 9-0 ball game. And the Sun Devils, of course, will get it back as Nebraska will now punt it away.
Tom Osborne said, Barry, that he really would like to have played another game early before having a bye. It's really tough to play one game and then have a bye, have 2 weeks off, and get your team back into the same kind of rhythm it was for that first week. And I think that's what we're seeing so far tonight.
Pat Tillman out of San Jose, had his hands on that football. Couldn't control it. Tom Osborne said he was concerned coming in here. Right now he has a little reason to be concerned, but remember, it's early in the game, and these are the Nebraska Cornhuskers. And they're going to score, believe me. Well, they actually will kick this ball off rather than punt it. They have a lot of confidence in Chris Brown.
For ASU to win this game, these are the kind of turnovers and big plays that they've got to take advantage of. Now it's up to the ASU offense to put together another nice drive and get some points.
End over end kick. Farlow is going to handle this at the 17-yard line. It's back to 25 to 30. He's tries to get outside, across the 35 to the 36 before he is stopped. A return of 19 yards on the play. Tom Osborne, he doesn't get too concerned about things. 232 career wins, 9 years with 23 years with 9 or more wins, 13-1 against ranked teams. I mean, he's done it all. He's got a system. His coaches don't leave him, and that was one of the things he told us when we talked to him yesterday. Is he says, I don't have to worry about coaching my coaches. I only lose a coach about every 3 years. I can worry about coaching the players. And, of course, it's paid off on the field. Eric Martin stopped for a loss of 2 by John Hess.
Well, John Hess is a great story. Came in and has beaten out the starting middle linebacker from last year, which is a pretty incredible story in itself.
Jay Foreman, a starter last year, will still play, but Hess has come in here. Hess also has already graduated with a degree in psychology. He obviously outpsyched Jay Foreman. 3 wideouts now, slot left, and in motion this time comes Boyer to the near side. Plummer straight back with high. Throw caught by Boyer at the 41-yard line.
Well, it's too bad they couldn't have completed that pass and given Boyer some room to run, because there was nobody in the middle. He could have run for about 20 yards.
Slot left again with 3 wideouts. Plummer this time goes to his outlet and this time it is Martin with a first down short of midfield. And there is an experienced quarterback right there, Danny.
Yeah, he was just in the process of getting hit, went to his Allen receiver late, and then some nice moves out in the open. Really nice move. Bobbled the ball a little bit, but got it under control and got it up the field for a first down.
Good hands by Michael Martin. Martin, a guy who has started to get a reputation as one who plays big in big games, did so against Washington a couple of weeks back, and so far tonight has shown. Slot right with Boyer in the slot, 3 wideouts, Martin alone setback. Pump fake, Plummer going for it off. He's got Boyer out there, and Boyer can't hang on. As Plummer hung it up a little bit and allowed the safety to come over. Octavius McFarland.
Yeah, we're going to see this from the end zone. You can't see the receivers, but Plummer is going to fake the quick screen out to the wide receiver, and then he's going to another takeoff play. This is another big play if they hit it. And Ricky Boyer did a nice job getting his body in front of the defender, but a nice defensive play to see the safety coming over. Great job knocking the ball away by the safety.
Big time play.
Yeah, really nice play.
Eric Stokes, the man who knocked it away. Pump fake again, and a quick screen this time for Lindsey Jackson. Jackson with a step, 45-40. And down to the 39 with another Arizona State first down, a gain of 11. Jamel Williams on the stop for the Huskers. When Bruce Snyder talks about receivers, certainly he talks effusively about Keith Poole, but he says Lindsey Jackson runs the best patterns of anyone he's ever had.
Well, Keith Poole is a complete player. He blocks, he runs, he carries the ball, he runs reverses. Lindsey Jackson is just a pure wide receiver and runs great routes.
They go out of the I formation this time, and the give is to Martin. Nothing doing. Martin stacked up right now. Jeff Ogard with some help from Jay Foreman.
You just kind of get the feeling, Barry, that the Nebraska defense is a little bit out of sync, but you just know that any second now they're going to come together and put the stops on this ASU offense. They're just too experienced and they're too great a defensive football team.
Oh, when you and I were talking about this game and what we might expect, we expected Arizona State to score, but you could expect Nebraska to do the same. Plummer gets away, comes back, and it's intercepted. Picked off this time by Mike Minter, his 3rd interception in this young football season, and the Huskers will have it at the 21.
One of the cardinal sins, Barry, for a quarterback is you don't ever throw the ball over the middle late. And that's what Jake did that time. And, you know, it's understandable. He's trying to make something happen. Here we'll see it again. Jake scrambled. Great movement out of the pocket. Avoids the sack there, sets up. Just threw this ball a little bit high. With a free safety sitting back in center field, you just can't do it.
Had a man there, had Lindsey Jackson open. So the Huskers get it back for the second time at the 21-yard line. Green, the I-back. And this is Green, left side, and Green is wrecked short of the line of scrimmage at the 20-yard line. Brent Bernstein again on the play for the Sun Devils.
Barry, that's Mike Minter's 3rd interception of this young season. In 2 games, he's got 3 interceptions now. He is leading the troops in that defensive backfield for Nebraska.
This time they send Lance Brown in the slot inside of Kenny Cheatham. Single setback, 3 wide receivers. Give it to Green again, and Green gets to about the 22, and again it is Brent Bernstein. Calling that name a lot early in this game, Danny.
Yeah, the Sun Devil defensive line is doing a lot of stunning right now. Linebackers are blitzing a lot, and it's creating a little bit of confusion for the Nebraska offense. Got a 3rd down and 9 now. Passing situation, which is something that the Cornhuskers are not really used to.
Nickel defense for the Sun Devils. They go out of the shotgun this time. Scott Frost with plenty of time. Throwing deep, and it's caught this time. Caught by Brown, and Brown has a first down at the 45-yard line. A little short of the 45, at the 44. Nice toss that time by Scott Frost.
Jason Simmons had good coverage, but just a nice catch. Good job using his body. Here you see it, just basic sideline route, well-thrown ball. Gets up and uses his body. Well-executed play.
Huskers have it at the 44 with a first down. Their first out of the I formation, still 3 wideouts. They put Bedrow in the slot for the left side, and they give us to Green again. And Green with a little gap this time, gets to the 49, a gain of 5. Pat Tillman on the stop for the Devils. Amon Green, as you see, 1,000 yards. And that was as a part-time player.
It was a nice job that time by Almon Green setting up that block. A little dip to the outside, and then he cut it back up inside the tackle.
Second down and 5. Again out of the I formation. Again it's Green and a fumble. Ball is loose. Green trying to pick it up. Ball still loose, and I think the Cornhuskers have it at the 33-yard line.
Ooh, that's a big break for Nebraska. That is a huge break.
Take another look as Green coughs it up for the second time tonight.
You see the trap by Adam True, pulling and trapping to the right. Sheldon Jackson recovered that fumble. Mitchell Friedman just reached in and slapped that ball out. They call him Fright Night. He is a hitter.
As it is, though, a pretty good game for the Huskers. They have it at the 33, this time on the option, and it's an option pass. And the ball going to the end zone, intended for Kenny Cheatham, can't hang on. Damon Benning was the man who threw it, and he really threw it.
What a great throw. I'd say he played a little quarterback sometime in his career, probably a high school quarterback. Here you see the play coming up, a little fake to the fullback. They're going to option off Rogers, the defensive end, and Benning just sets up, and this is close. He just barely is out of the end zone. That would have been a touchdown had he held on. I think he had his right foot down.
Single setback once again. This time Frost on the keeper, trying to get outside, cuts it up. He's going to have a first down at the 23-yard line, and that's really something Scott Frost brings to this dance. One of the fastest players on the field, and strong. Derek Rogers and Jason Simmons chase him down.
He really is a great athlete. Watch the block, especially, or the wide receiver coming down and getting the block, and that's what makes this play work. Here you see it, optioning off the end.
Kenny Cheatham is the man who made that block. They're going to say that this may be a little bit short.
I think that was Brendan Holbein made the block. They take a lot of pride in their receivers being able to block. They're not just guys who run down the field and catch the ball and celebrate in the end zone. They get down in there in the trenches with everybody else.
First thing they say about Brendan Holbein is what a great blocker he is, and he showed you why right there. It is a first down.
In addition to being a great split end, Brendan Holbein was on the academic honor roll at the end of the year last year, and we could say that about a lot of the players on this Nebraska team.
Yeah, it's true, and their graduation numbers are very impressive.
Number one in the country.
74%.
20% above the average. And I'll bet you Tom Osborne is proud of that.
Vedrill this time in the slot, lines up inside of Holbein. And again, Frost checking off here. Ball at the 23-yard line. This is Benning at the right side, and Benning gets around one man, gets the 20, gets the 15 out of bounds with another first down at the 13-yard line.
That was all Benning. I think Derek Rogers would like to have another shot at him. I think that was Derek that missed him. Just great running. Play didn't really develop all that well. You can see a couple of Sun Devils out there. Adam True gets a block. Rogers has got him and just lets him get away.
Might have got away with a face mask also. So a first down at the 12-yard line off the 11-yard gain by Benning. And here come the Huskers. Give this time just to the fullback on the triple option. That's Brian Schuster carrying the football, and he gets inside the 10 to the 9-yard line, a gain of 3. Schuster, one of 5 walk-on fullbacks on this football team.
You know, a lot of people would think that one of the reasons Nebraska has been so powerful for the last couple of years is they just recruit all these high school All-Americans. 6 of their starters are walk-ons.
Holbein, the only wide out now to the left side on second down. It's a power formation, and a give again to the fullback Schuster, and Schuster will be stopped short of the 5-yard line. This is just basic run it at you, smash mouth football. Mitchell Friedman on the stop.
Yeah, one of the best things to do against a slanting, stunning defense is just to run straight at them. You catch a crease and it turns into a big play in a hurry.
Ball is marked right at the 5-yard line. 3rd down and 3. Benning is the I back. Power I formation. And this time on the pitch, the ball is loose, and it is still loose. Still loose. And I think that the Huskers got this back. Let's see, it's still a fight. Sun Devils think they got it. So the Sun Devils catch another big break off the 3rd fumble in the first 11.5 minutes of this game. Scott Vander Ahe on the ball. And an injured Sun Devil on the field. And that is Mitchell, I believe. Mitchell Friedman.
There we can see the play. Here you see Frost. This pitch was just way behind Benning. In fact, Benning wasn't anywhere close to it.
Aubrey Battle had Frost all wrapped up, and I think that might have had something to do with it.
He might have gotten a piece of that ball because it wasn't anywhere close to Benning.
Then I thought for a minute Bedrell got the ball.
There you see it again. I think that's exactly what happened. I think he got hit as he was pitching that ball. Look at all the Sun Devils who have a chance to get this ball. Bedrell almost came back in and got it.
Mitchell Friedman is brought to the sideline, and we will try to get a report on him. He is a player that Sun Devils can ill afford to lose. Well, Arizona State dodges a bullet. They get it back to the 22-yard line. Give it to Martin on 1st down, and Martin gets about 2 to the 24-yard line.
It's going to be interesting now, Barry, to see if the ASU offense continues to attack. It's real easy once you get a little bit of a lead to start to get a little bit tentative and try not to lose rather than trying to win. It's early in the game. Certainly, you would think that they would remain aggressive. It's worked for them so far. But the Nebraska defense is going to have something to say about this before it's over.
And Nebraska was moving the football extremely well. 2nd down and 8 now. They go on the offset eye with Martin the tailback, slot right. And they give it to Martin again, and Martin doesn't get anything. Stopped this time by Chad Kelsey. Cornhuskers playing a whole lot of bodies early in this ball game.
An interesting couple of plays there, Barry. 2 runs right up the middle. See what they can do on 3rd down. Now, big play for ASU.
Huskers show blitz. And they come from the outside, and Plummer has no place to go. And nobody picked up Jamel Williams. We told you how quick he is when he gets in the backfield, and that was no contest.
Yeah, that's Jamel Williams' 2nd sack of the season. And Jake Plummer just has no time at all this time.
Also on that play, Juan Roque has come out limping, and that is a very big problem if he is hurt at all. He appears to be okay, but he did come out of there limping. Punt this time. Headed for Benning at the 30-yard line. Benning to the 35, trying to get outside. And gets to about the 43, and I mean Benning gets to the outside in a big hurry. Renard Turpin runs him out. We'll jump off the track. We're coming back. 9-0 ball game. Sun Devils. And by Power Bar, fuel for optimum performance. Barry Tompkins, Danny White, sold out Sun Devil Stadium, and I'll tell you what, there's plenty of red in Sun Devil Stadium tonight too. And so far in this ball game, the Arizona State Sun Devils have managed to keep that portion of the stadium relatively quiet.
Well, everything has gone their way so far, Barry. 2 fumbles on the option by Nebraska. Scott Frost has got to settle down just a little bit, and I'm sure he will.
Weeding and Cheatham are the wideouts now. Single setback, 2 tight ends. And to give this time is to Amon Green, and he gets about 3. Ron McCook on the stop.
Well, Arizona Arizona State's got 1 minute to go to keep that string intact.
Time to the fullback, Schuster, and Schuster will be stopped right at about the line of scrimmage. Sun Devils playing the option pretty well early in this ballgame. Derek Rogers and Jeremy Stapp on the tackle. Both teams substituting liberally here in the 98-degree weather. Came to Phoenix with 85 players. Of course, if we're a conference game, we're only allowed 60 here in the Pac-10, 66 in the Big 12. Green goes in motion, bare backfield this time. Quarterback draw, Frost trips and falls as he crosses midfield, and he had a whole lot of running room. If he was able to keep his feet, Jeremy Stapp just tripped him up. And that will be the last play of the first quarter, and what a difference a year makes. At the end of one quarter last year in Lincoln, it was Nebraska 35, Arizona State 7, and Nebraska had run up 308 yards of offense. 9-0, Devils. We'll be back.
In most first quarters. However, I still don't believe it's as important as the fourth quarter. I think that's always the key quarter for every game. But I think it'd be important for Arizona State to get off to a good start in the first quarter to gain some strength and some momentum, some confidence.
Well, they have all of that right now. 9-0. They have caught every break, it must be pointed out, in the first 15 minutes as well. But defensively playing pretty solid, I think. To punt it away for the first time. Good kick, turns this one over. Sun Devils will let this go, and it lands in the end zone, and Arizona State will start at the 20-yard line. 48-yard punt. Probably would have rather had about 45.
I think he makes a great point, Barry, in that the longer the Sun Devils can stay in this game, the more their confidence will continue to grow, and the more the Nebraska Cornhuskers will begin to believe that they're beatable. Right now, the Cornhuskers still believe that they're just basically unbeatable.
Well, I thought Charlie McBride had a good point. We talked to him yesterday. He said, if we escape this one, we'll be okay. And he emphasized the word escape. Playing on the road against the ranked team, not easy, unless you happen to be the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Plummer to pass, throws for Poole, perfect execution. You could not do it better than that. Ball was in the air before Poole made his break. 21 yards and a first down. Mike Pullman could do nothing about that.
Here you're going to see it from the end zone, just a perfectly thrown timing route. This is a sideline route to Keith Poole. Jake hits his fifth step, one hitch, lets it go. And Poole comes out of his break, and there's the ball. It's tough to stop that one.
Offset eye once again, and Plummer this time gives the mark right side, trying to get outside, and you just cannot do that against the Cornhuskers. Might have gotten a yard. Michael Booker makes the stop. Booker playing with tendonitis. He is not 100%. Neither is Mike Pullman, his backup. 80 yards on that first drive for the only touchdown of the ball game. Nebraska 3 fumbles and lost a couple of them, one of them for a safety. Plummer 6 of 10, 95 yards, and the total yardage, Arizona State outgaining Nebraska by 50. Lindsey Jackson goes to the far side and Poole to the near side. Again, the offset eye with Mark the tailback. Plummer will go up. In trouble, rolls away. And now he'll run and head for the sidelines as quickly as he can. Crowd wants a late hit. I don't believe it was one. Plummer gained about 2, and it's going to be third down.
Everybody covered that time, Barry. Well done by the Nebraska defensive secondary. Nobody to throw the ball to. Plummer has no option but to run the ball out of bounds. Big third down now.
What's your call here, Coach?
Got to go to the air. Got to go to the air. Got to stay aggressive against them.
Boy, is that a hedge. Slot left, 3 wide on single setback. They bring Boyer in motion to the far side. Blitz comes. They pick it up. Plummer steps up. Now he rolls away and buys some time. Throwing deep this time for Boyer, and Boyer can't hang on with a man in his face. Michael Booker doing everything he could. I suppose you can make a case for face guarding, but I don't really believe he was.
Well, Bruce Snyder certainly thinks it was face guarding. And this was just really well played by Booker. Plummer had about 8 seconds to throw that ball after all the movement. Here we're going to see the end of the play coming up here.
Well, he's playing the ball, I think. I think that was a good no call. Pullman will be in the middle to receive this punt. And this is fielded by McFarland, and he gets it back to about the 19-yard line. 39-yard punt. Good coverage for the Sun Devils, who have been troubled with special teams. We'll take a timeout. 13:40 remaining first half.
Nebraska's offense could not audibilize at the line of scrimmage, so they went to the hand signals the last couple of series. They were able to move the ball up and down the field. This crowd will be a big factor in the remainder of this first half. Hopefully for the Sun Devils, it'll be a loud crowd. We'll see what happens.
That, again, was a part of Bruce Snyder's game plan. He said, we've got to use the crowd, and just for the very reasons that Andre Aldrich pointed out. Scott Frost, the quarterback, with Benning, the lone setback. Ball right at the 20-yard line. Frost will go up for the third time, looking deep this time, and overthrows everybody. Might have been a little confusion there on the route that Brendan Holbein was running.
We talked a little bit earlier, Barry, about the fact that Frost changes a lot of the plays at the line of scrimmage. We also talked about the fact that the crowd and Scott Frost just playing his second game could be two big factors, and so far they have been the two biggest factors in this game.
They go out of the I formation this time. Benning remains the I back. Slot right. And it is Green, not Benning, and Green doesn't get anything. Scott Vander Ahe on the stop for the Sun Devils. Remember what a question mark the defense for the Sun Devils was last year, and so far tonight, they're getting it done.
Here you see a nice fill right there by Vander Ahe. Great job of reading the fullback and filling the hole.
Slot right this time with Brown in the slot. 4 wide receivers, no tight ends. Here's a set we have not seen. They go out of the shotgun. And the option, the pitch this time to Green, trying to get outside, flag down, and so is Green at the 23-yard line. Sun Devils played it exactly right, strung it out, and Tillman tossed him out of bounds. And now we'll see about the flag. Holding is the call. It will be refused.
Okay, here we're going to see Tillman right here play off the block. He's not going to let Benning get outside of him. He's going to play off, and he's going to end up making a tackle right there. Really well played by Pat Tillman. Here he comes, keeps outside leverage, then makes the tackle.
4th down.
Just a little bit of help there from Jason Simmons coming up making a nice hit.
So Redmond will be the deep man. Cush will be the punter, but before we get that, the Cornhuskers will ask for a timeout. 12 minutes, 52 seconds remaining in the first half. Crowd back in the ball game, and why not? The home team leading the nation's #1, 9-0.
Out to the second side, and there's going to be a collision right there with Scott Frost, and quarterbacks don't like these kind of collisions. Right there.
Should point out, though, he played some safety at Stanford. Here's a game to Battle with plenty of room. 40-45, midfield and out of bounds. Gain of 14 for Terry Battle. Mike Minter with a saving tackle.
Boy, you really see the speed there of Mike Minter in that defensive secondary. He came out of nowhere to make that tackle. But here we see the play. Minter's coming from right here to make that tackle. Comes all the way across the field and runs him out.
Ball right at midfield. First down, Sun Devils. Plummer, play fake, pass. Looking deep for Poole. And overthrew him. Poole had the secondary split that time. Incidentally, on that last run by Battle on the first play of this drive, I believe it was Poole who made the ceiling block that gave him the yardage.
Yeah, Keith Poole is he's just a total football player. He does anything you ask him to do, and that's one of the reasons he'll be an all Pac-10 selection this year.
Second down and 10. Plummer this time throws an inside screen for Lindsey Jackson with some room, trying to get outside 35 and out of bounds the 30-yard line. The second time they've run that, second time it's gone for big yards. Eric Stokes on the stop, gain of 20.
Really a well-run quick screen this time. Watch the lineman for ASU get out in front of this and get these blocks, and that's what makes this play work so well. Just a perfectly designed quick screen. There's a block there. There's another one there. Nice running by Lindsey Jackson.
Jackson now 3 catches, 42 yards. Single setback, 2 tight ends, 2 wideouts. On first down, ball right at the 30-yard line. Give this time is to Redmond, and Redmond trying to get outside, flag down as Redmond picked up about 3. J.R. Redmond starting to be worked into this offense a little bit more, still learning his blocking assignments, but no question as to his ability to run the football.
No question at all, Barry. He's quick. He's got good vision of the field and a great feel for a young guy, but he's got to work on his pass protection if he's going to get to play in the games more, because he is a liability on passing plays when he has to block.
And with that, Redmond leaves and Battle comes back. A holding call against Arizona State. We'll move this back to about the 41-yard line.
Holding, offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down, still first down.
Kenny Mitchell in the ballgame for the first time. Highly recruited athlete who's just rounding into form this year as well. 3 wideouts with Boyer, Mitchell, and Poole in the ballgame right now. Terry Battle alone setback. 3-step drop, slam, in and out of the hands of Poole, and that's a pass that he's not going to drop very much.
Well, it was thrown just a little bit behind him as a result of a nice play by the Nebraska safety. See him right here. He's going to just get his hand out, and Plummer has to throw the ball just a little bit behind Keith Poole, but I guarantee you Keith Poole feels like he should have had that one.
Plummer getting it done pretty well so far.
Jake Plummer is 8 of 15 for 136 yards, a touchdown and an interception so far tonight.
3 wideouts just on Jackson, lined up in a slot. Straight back Plummer, in trouble, throws over the middle, caught by Mitchell, and a first down at the 16-yard line, and a great grab by Kenny Mitchell. Had to know he was going to take a shot, and still reached up and pulled it down.
But what a throw by Jake Plummer. He is getting nailed as he throws this ball. And it's amazing that he was able to get it out in the vicinity. Whew. Great play by Jake Plummer. Great play.
Tomich was right in Plummer's face, and Worcester was there as well.
And I think he's going to be there a few more times tonight.
I don't think there's any question about it, but a great throw and a great grab. Give this time Mr. Redmond behind a wall of blockers, and Redmond is down to the 7-yard line, knocking people backward. Flag goes down, and now we're going to see about this. I assure you there was no hand in that. And again, Arizona State victimizes itself. It happened earlier in the game. Sun Devils overcame it.
Another well-executed play, though. You see Pat Thompson, the offensive guard, pull and lead that play. And the Nebraska defense going for the fullback. There you see it. Here comes Thompson up the middle. Nice block. Boy, nice having those big old bodies in front of you.
Dead ball.
Yeah, you don't want the big old bodies on the back of a Nebraska player.
15 yards. Second down.
Jamel Williams was the guy who was jumped upon. So the end result of all of this is it's second down at 16. Bruce Snyder shaking his head. Those are the things he said you absolutely have to avoid. Plummer straight back. Throws, caught this time by Jackson. Jackson now finds some room at the 10. Down to the 5-yard line. First down, Sun Devils. A gain of 19.
is what they like about Lindsey Jackson, Barry. He does great things with the ball after he catches it. Just a simple hook pattern, another timing route. Plummer sets his feet, delivers the ball right on the money, and then some nice running by Lindsey Jackson. Brian Terwilliger made that tackle.
And there's a happy guy, Jake Plummer, all right, he's saying. Poole goes to the far side this time. Two tight ends. They go out of the I formation. Battle the tailback. This is Battle, and he's going to have to, just to get back to the line of scrimmage. Eric Stokes stood him up. Scoring in the red zone against the Cornhuskers is anything but a gimme.
Well, it's tough when you're out in the middle of the field, when they've got the whole field to cover. But when you get down inside the 20 and inside the 10-yard line, there's just not a whole lot of field there for those Cornhuskers to cover with their great speed. And so it is difficult.
Michael Martin back in the ballgame at the tailback spot. He lines up behind Polk. Poole alone wide out, and they give us to Martin. And Martin is caught behind the line of scrimmage by John Hess. And it'll be third down and goal.
Nebraska's defense stiffening just a little bit. And I really think they're going to be the ones that are going to have to take control of this game. If Nebraska's going to take control of it, it's going to have to be done on defense.
Tom Osborne very seldom changes expression. That's just about what he looked like when we talked to him last night. Very pleasant man who has done a marvelous job here, to say the least. Pump fake, and Poole, or rather Plummer, is snowed under. And you made the point earlier, you best get the ball to your first receiver against Nebraska.
Oh, well, on a three-step drop, you're just not far enough away from the line of scrimmage and that great speed. Grant Wistrom again, and boy, is he quick. He gets on you so fast.
So Neese will come on. Third sack of the ball game for the Huskers.
Holding number 16, Kent Carter. Taking number 41, Robert Neese.
27-yard effort for Neese out of the hole of Plummer. And it is perfect. So the Sun Devils have put 3 more up with 8 minutes, 59 seconds remaining in the first half. A look at the scoreboard shows Arizona State 12, Nebraska nothing.
Doesn't look good. Left tackle is the most important lineman in the passing game. And Jake Plummer depends a great deal on him because that's his blind side, and he never saw that one coming. Nebraska defense, again, as I mentioned earlier, beginning to stiffen a little bit. That could be the thing that turns this game for the Cornhuskers.
Okay, that tackle you were talking about considers it a badge of honor to keep people off of Jake Plummer. First half offense versus Arizona State. Look at this. This year to last year. Green and Benning will be the deep men for the Cornhuskers, and this one they might get a chance at. Benning at the 2, to the 10, 15, to the 23-yard line. Well defended that time by the Sun Devils as Renard Turpin makes the stop on special teams for the second time. 22-yard return. Scott Frost will come on and try to do a little business yet another time. Ball mark just short of the 25. So Freeman is back out there. Mitchell Freeman went off, shaken up, and never even got to the bench. He was down at about the 20-yard line and is back out there playing now with a cast on his hand, as we said. In motion this time comes Kenny Cheatham. And a fake reverse with Benning out there all by his lonesome, and an excellent job by Marcus Sauer to save a touchdown. As it is, a gain of 20, but that was going to be 6.
Now this is something that defensive backs have nightmares about, Barry. Out in the open field with a guy like that coming at you with the kind of moves and the kind of quickness. There you see the fake reverse. He keeps the ball around the left side, and there's nobody for anybody to block but Marcus Sauer, and he does a great job of saving a touchdown.
Terrific execution on that play by the Huskers. Ball
real well run.
Just short of the 45. They go to the I formation again. Benning is the tailback. Scott Frost will put it up. In trouble. They miss him once. They miss him twice, but they're not going to miss missing 3 times. Vince Amy finally corrals him. Tillman had a shot at him. Then he was missed again. Barry Tompkins, Danny White with you. We're at Sun Devil Stadium here in Tempe, Arizona. 8 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the first half. And what do you know? The Arizona State Sun Devils lead the #1 ranked Nebraska Cornhuskers, 2-time national champions, and riding the crest of a 26-game winning streak. And I'll tell you what, I wouldn't put it in the bank. But the Sun Devils need to be credited. They are playing excellent on both sides of the football. Second down, 14. They go out of the shotgun and a direct snap to Benning this time. And Benning is tripped up as the Sun Devils not fooled, a gain of a yard.
You can see Scott Frost step up to the line of scrimmage and yell something to his line. They're clearly having a hard time hearing the signals.
Sean Sueda makes the stop. Cheatham back in the ball game, comes to the near side, to the far side, goes full by with Vedral in the slot. They'll go out of the shotgun again on 3rd and 12, and the crowd again becomes a factor. Straight back to pass. Frost throws and almost intercepted. Knocked out of bounds by Mitchell Friedman. And if he hadn't had that cast on his hand, that might have gone the other way.
Exactly. Had a great shot at an interception there. Well played. There you're going to see it on the right side of your screen. Just a timing sideline route and really well played by Mitchell Friedman. Hits him right in the helmet. Oh my gosh. Better get that visor off, Mitchell. Get those gloves off, get the cast off, something.
For the 3rd time tonight, Huskers will have to punt. J.R. Redmond, the deep man, stands at the 15-yard line. He is not one to call a fair catch. They come after this one, almost got a piece of it. Redmond runs up, fields it at about the 19-yard line, and that's where he stopped. Take a look at some scores from around and about the Pac-10 Conference. Washington is a winner in very impressive fashion, I might add. That's a good football team. And what does that tell you about Arizona State? Remember, they beat them. Shootout up on the Palouse, and Washington State winds up winning at 55-44. Wisconsin blanks Stanford as the Cardinal offense bogging down this year. USC, a winner by 17 over Houston. California wins their 3rd in a row. And I think Steve Mariucci's got the surprise team in the conference there. They beat Nevada. And coming up at halftime, Randy Sprague give you all the scores and highlights from all around the country. Play fake and Plummer to throw, in trouble. Almost lost the football. Did well to hold on to the football. Chad Kelsey gets the sack, the 4th.
This is a coverage sack, Barry. And nobody for Plummer again to throw the ball to. Everyone downfield is covered. There you see it. A little fake and a little bootleg to the right, and looking for somebody. He's only got 2 receivers in the pattern, and they were both blanketed.
More than enough time for Jake Plummer. Straight back, Plummer again with time again. Throws, caught by Jackson, and Jackson trips and falls, and he was going a long way if he hadn't done that. First down at the 32-yard line.
Yeah, he was gone if he doesn't slip, but there again you see the quickness of Lindsey Jackson, able to catch that sideline route and turn it up the sideline. And if he had not just stumbled just a little bit, that was a touchdown. There you see it. Again, sets his feet. Good throw by Plummer.
So first down at the 33. The other thing is that Plummer's just throwing the ball so well before the receiver makes his break. That is so tough to defend. Huskers show blitz, drop out of it now, and they give this time with a big hole to Battle at the 39-yard line, and Battle down about 6. Eric Stokes on the stop for the Huskers. And Battle ran right where the linebacker departed.
Yeah, there you see the hole. Caught him in a stunt that time and just happened to hit the right spot. You know, Nebraska prefers to play a man-to-man defense in the secondary, and they rely on the pass rush to allow to stay with the receivers. So far, the pass rush hasn't gotten to Plummer that much tonight.
J.R. Redmond comes out of the backfield, lines up on the near side. Short drop, Plummer, slant, caught by Jackson. Jackson with a first down at the 49-yard line. And Jackson really being a factor in this game. His 6th catch, I beg your pardon, for 92 yards already.
There you see it. He's in the slot right there in the middle, and there's just nobody there. That's a pass that's got to be defended by someone up front. One of those defensive linemen or linebackers have got to get their hands up in the face of Plummer in order to stop that pass.
An interesting story after this, too. Out of the I formation, slot right. This time, here's a reverse. And a good block, but Boyer not going to be able to go anywhere. Well defended by the Huskers that time. Bush gave a good block.
What a great block by Steve Bush.
What I started to say is, Bruce Snyder, as we take another look at this, Bruce Snyder told us that he reads the internet. And of course, Nebraska has a page on the internet, and I can't help but wonder if there weren't some words on there about Coleman not being 100%, Booker having tendonitis. That's where they're taking advantage, right at that position defensively. Coaching comes into the computer age. Boyer in motion, straight back Plummer. Throws, dropped. John Hess got a finger on the ball, I believe, intended for Boyer.
Yeah, Hess really reads Plummer's eyes this time and almost got an interception on that play.
So again, the Sun Devils looking at a tough third down, and there's some interesting numbers on Plummer, needing 59 yards.
59 yards.
Who is that guy? Danny, know him as well as I know my own partner.
Another one bites the dust.
Need to be broken. They give this time to Redmond, and Redmond gets outside, and he's going to get the first down across the 40 to the 39, taking Eric Stokes with him. 17 yards, and that was all the freshman, J.R. Redmond.
3rd and 15, and they run a draw trap up the middle. Here we see it from the end zone. Watch the trap open up. There it is. Nice cut right there. And then it's all J.R. Redmond getting to the sticks and getting the first down.
Kirk Robertson with a huge block. Ball at the 38-yard line. Redmond again at the right side. Doesn't get anything this time. Michael Booker quick to play the force.
Well, Arizona State's offense has been on the field for a long time tonight so far in this first half. One of the things they wanted to do was sustain drives and keep the Nebraska offense off the field. So far, that's exactly what they've done. 44 plays for Arizona State, Nebraska 20.
Second down and 10. And Plummer wants a timeout. And we'll take one as well. 3:25 remaining first half. I'm not sure I believe exactly what I'm seeing. 12-0, and the Devils are driving again. We'll be back. We're going down to the sidelines at Andre Aldridge. Andre?
All right, thanks, Barry. Now, we know that the Nebraska Cornhuskers are one of the best conditioned teams in the country, but this defense out here sucking a little wind, and Jared Tomich and Grant Wistrom, two of their best rush-ins ever, did not go out for the beginning of this defensive series. They've been sitting on the bench the entire time. And I don't know if it's the fact that they weren't playing as well as Coach Osborne wanted them to, or the fact that a lot of guys down here are breathing very, very heavily. It's that desert air. Guys?
I think it's the latter rather than the former, to tell you the truth, because I think Wistrom actually has played extremely well so far tonight.
Yeah, Wistrom has had a good game. 98 degrees approximately at kickoff. But hey, Barry, it's a dry heat.
Yeah, right. Like our oven, right? There's a couple guys who don't care. Second down 10. Blitz is picked up. Plummer throws. Incomplete, intended for Jackson. Might try to force that one a little bit. Jay Foreman back in coverage. Doing a good job. Foreman, of course, the son of Chuck Foreman, who played for many years, running back with the Minnesota Vikings out of Miami.
A little change-up zone that time by the Nebraska defense. I think it caught Plummer and the ASU receivers a little bit off guard. Big third down here.
Third down and 10. Straight back, Plummer again. Now he has to unload it in a hurry. Threw for his tight end Bush, and Bush well covered, unable to hang on. And now a little long for a field goal try. I would think they'd have to punt this.
Yeah, they'll punt this one. They needed one more first down to get into field goal range. Good job by the Nebraska defense in those last two plays.
So Lance Anderson will have the task of trying to pin the Cornhuskers back deep in their own territory. Mike for the Huskers.
Deep to receive for Nebraska.
Coleman, of course, brought one back against Michigan State, despite having a painful groin injury. And might have got a little too much of this. In fact, a lot too much.
Hit that one out of the stadium.
Just a reminder that coming up at halftime, we present college football today. The halftime report with Randy Sparagi. That's all. Just about 3 minutes and 9 seconds on the game clock away. It's been a heck of a collision out there because there's a Cornhusker down, and there's one of the Arizona State players came off a little bit woozy too. In fact, it was Pullman who was the deep man. Pullman, as you said, has a very painful, it's actually the pubic bone, and it's one of those injuries that only rest can help, and he's just out there gutsing it out. Two tight ends. And Scott Frost will put it up on first down. Looking deep for Bedroll. And overthrows him by a bunch. Marcus Sauer defending, but it really didn't much matter.
Well, the second time tonight that Nebraska has come out throwing deep on first down. They're just trying to get anything going. It's real important now that they get some points on the board before halftime.
It's only a 12-0 ball game. Frost again might be checking off. They run the option this time. Frost on a keeper is destroyed short of the line of scrimmage by Derek Smith with help from his friends who happen to be Derek Rogers. A couple of Dereks.
Okay, nice job here by the outside of the ASU defense shutting this off. Really felt like when Frost got right here, he really should have pitched the ball. Looked like the outside was open, but he decided to keep it and tries to turn up, and it's good reaction right there by Derek Rogers.
Boy, it did look like the outside was open. This is easy from up here. Third down, a long 10, and this one gets away. Ball is loose. Frost back in his own end zone. He's down. That'll be another safety.
Unbelievable.
And very uncharacteristic of the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Fourth fumble of this first half. Two of them have gone for safeties.
I think that was a ball that Scott Frost was not expecting. He wasn't ready for the ball. I think the crowd noise once again got to it. You see him standing there. He's not even ready, and there they snapped the ball.
Taylor is the center, and I'm not quite sure where blame falls on this one.
Well, clearly, I think with the center, he couldn't hear the quarterback, and if you can't hear him, you don't snap the ball if you're not sure.
Well, it's a learning experience for Scott Frost. Maybe playing for the best team in America, but it's still only the second game he's played in this system.
Yeah, I really don't think Scott Frost was to blame on that when he was trying to set his offense.
We should point out, too, that remember, Taylor is playing that position for the first time. He played outside last year. He's an experienced player, but he was a guard last year, and here he is playing the center position.
Well, that is just very uncharacteristic for Aaron Taylor. Picked the number 2 center in the nation by the Sporting News preseason. He's a veteran guy. These guys, you got to believe, are going to get it going here before too much longer, sooner or later tonight.
Well, Battle and Farlow will be the deep man for the Sun Devils, as again they will get the football back, and they have dominated the clock in this game. They've dominated every facet of this game. Farlow at the 20, to the 25, trying to get outside, and you can't do that against the Cornhuskers.
No. Too much speed.
Just cannot do it.
Here we see the snap again. You see Scott Frost is not even looking at the center. He's fortunate that he even sees that ball. This could very easily have been a touchdown for the Sun Devils.
Well, actually, the Sun Devils have been very lucky in that respect. The other safety could easily have been a touchdown as well, and they could be looking at least 12 points as opposed to only 4. The Cornhuskers, I beg your pardon. Screen to Jackson, and this time it's well defensed. Went to the well maybe one time too many on that. Grant Wistrom makes the stop on Lindsey Jackson. Jackson's a little slow getting up. And and so is one of the Cornhuskers. It's been a very physical game on a very hot day. Wistrom and Jackson are both down.
Yeah, that's Grant Wistrom. That was a heck of a collision. Great recognition by Grant Wistrom. Plummer fake to the right, then throws the quick screen back to the left. And there you see the collision.
Ouch. Jackson is back up, although he has come to the sidelines. And he's limping a little bit over there, too.
I'm not sure what could have happened to Wistrom. That was just a good form tackle.
I think he came in with his helmet. And, of course, the good news is he's moving his legs. Key player for this Nebraska team. Now watch how he comes in. I think he came in head first, Danny.
Yeah, here's another angle, another shot at it. Ooh, yeah, may have jammed the neck just a little bit on contact.
Those things really hurt too, don't they?
Sometimes you get what they call a burner, where you pinch a little nerve in your shoulder and it runs right down your arm. It's a scary feeling. Something that you overcome fairly quickly usually. Hopefully that's all it is.
Let's take a moment, look at some scores from around the country. This game was 35-0 at one point. Tennessee came back well, but a long way to come back from. Penn State 41-0 over Temple. That's a game that was never in any doubt. Notre Dame is a winner on a last-second field goal, beating Texas. Texas led by 11 points in that game. This game was 65-0 in the third quarter. Michigan had to come from behind. Wistrom being helped off the field now. And he's a little bit woozy. And, of course, Randy Spiraghi will give you all the scores and all the highlights. Coming up at halftime, that's 2 minutes away. 2 minutes on the game clock. And he just had his bell rung and is very woozy.
Well, it's good to see him walking off the field. You know, we talked earlier about Nebraska going for their 700th win. You know, the other 4 teams, Barry, that have 700.
There's some pretty creditable programs out there. Alabama, Michigan, Notre Dame, and Texas. Plummer to put it up with time. Throws, caught for the tight end Bush across midfield to the 46-yard line. Gain of 15.
There you see the play coming up. Steve Bush right in the middle, bounces off the linebacker and finds a nice hole, and well thrown by Jake Plummer. They're just finding some seams in that Nebraska defense, and to their credit, they are not sitting on this lead. They are continuing to throw the ball on first and second down. They want some more points before halftime.
I think they have the same kind of respect for the Nebraska Cornhuskers as you and I do. I mean, they know you're not going to shut Nebraska out.
No, I don't think 14 is going to be enough to win this game. But I'll guarantee you that Bruce Snyder is going to tell these guys at halftime, we did it for one half, we can do it for another half.
Well, I'm sure he's got his team believing right at the moment. I'm not even sure Bruce believed, to tell the truth.
No, that's right, but their confidence has to be just soaring right now. And but they got to know that things aren't going to be this easy all night long.
Well, in talking with Charlie McBride last night, Nebraska, and we talked about this a little bit at the beginning of the program, but Nebraska's whole philosophy is you stop the run, and then they have to throw the football, and when they have to throw the football, we're going to go get it. And his expression for stopping the run was pounding sand in a rat hole. Well, so far the rats are loose.
Yeah, they really are. They're running all over the field.
And Tom Osborne still stoic, does not change his expression.
Well, you just kind of get the feeling that he's been here before, Barry.
Well, I just think he does an unbelievable job, and Bruce Snyder attested to that. Single setback this time. Plummer straight back. Blitz comes. Plummer steps up, throws. Caught this time by Jackson at the 33-yard line. And what a job by the offensive line to pick that blitz up.
They got the hurry-up offense. They're going with no huddle now. Nice job that time by the ASU offensive line picking up the blitz.
Clock stops while the chains are moved. Now it starts again, and the Sun Devils are at the line of scrimmage and ready to go. Single setback, 3 wideouts again, 4-man rush. Plummer steps up in trouble, down he goes. Jason Peter this time, the man who makes the stop. That won't be a sack because it was plus yardage. And now the Sun Devils will take a timeout. And that is their last timeout. So that puts a little more urgency into the situation.
Yeah, might have wanted to save that timeout, Barry. Let the clock run down a little bit more. You don't want to give the Nebraska offense too much time to put points on the board. If you can, you'd like to run this one down to just a few seconds and try a field goal or take one shot at the end zone as the half runs out. A minute 19 is a lot of time.
The other thing, too, is that hurry-up offense normally means that another team, your defensive team, cannot make situation substitutions. But with Nebraska, that doesn't matter because they don't have situation substitutions.
That's right. They leave the same people on the field, whether it's 1st and 10 or 3rd and 25. And they can do that because their linebackers are such great athletes. They get fullbacks and safeties and cornerbacks, and they turn them into linebackers. And these guys don't only plug holes, they can cover passes, they can run the field. They're just great athletes.
I thought it was interesting, Tom Osborne telling us their recruiting philosophy, and what he said was, he said, we recruit strong safeties out of high school with a mind for making them linebackers, and we recruit running backs out of high school with a mind of making them be linebackers.
Whatever they do a good job of it because they turn ordinary football players into extraordinary teams.
Plummer straight back to pass. Steps up, throws for Jackson. Tough catch, and it's incomplete. I'm going to say incomplete pass as Jackson caught the ball and took a horrendous hit.
Once again, excellent pass protection by the ASU offensive line. Look at Plummer step up in the pocket, sets his feet, throws the ball on the money. Just a great defensive play.
Minter was the guy.
Once again by Mike Minter. Well, he's been all over the place.
Absolutely has been. He has been an absolute catalyst for this Nebraska football team, and was in the first game against Michigan State as well. This time they bring Boyer in motion. 3rd down and 10. And they get it on the running play this time to Martin, and Martin will be stopped at the 26. And I think that's really designed to give Neese some field position and a little bit closer on a field goal.
And run a little more time off the clock. Incomplete pass stops the clock.
It's going to be a 44-yard effort. And again, there's always that psychological edge of scoring just before the half ends. And the only thing you have to ask yourself is, are they going to leave Nebraska too much? They've got to get this done. They've got 9 seconds left.
Nebraska, I believe, only has 10 men on the field.
Now they have 5.
A lot of confusion.
Neese has enough leg if he's got the distance, and he does! Nebraska again with 10 men on the field. They had 10 men on the field on a punt earlier, which is why they called the timeout. They also had 10 men on the field on a punt last week, or 2 weeks ago against Michigan State, when Fullman returned it 62 yards for a touchdown.
A lot of confusion on the part of the Nebraska Cornhuskers so far tonight. And that is very, very uncharacteristic of a Tom Osborne team.
Very much so. Very much so. So it is a 17-0 lead. And I think there are some of the 74,000 assembled here who are starting to think this could happen.
Nobody's leaving yet, Barry.
Hardly. There's another guy who's not leaving. And as long as he's around, you have to feel this football team has a chance. But I would really have to wonder, and maybe we can find this out, when the last time Nebraska was shut out even for a half.
We'll have to put our crack statistician on that, and I'll bet you he comes up with something.
Find that out. Seconds left. Williams will kick it away.
See if Marcus Williams can put another one out in the end zone. He's really been a valuable weapon for the Sun Devils so far this year.
And he hits this pretty good. And Benning is going to be about 5 yards deep, and he's going to try it. To the 10, to the 15. Gets a little gap. Now he's got some room. Steps out of the hole to the kicker and gets to the 43-yard line. That's a 48-yard return, and Pat Tillman makes the tackle. And they are just so dangerous. Return yards have been a huge thing early in this season for Nebraska.
There you see the wedge return. These 4 guys right here are going to just set up a wedge. And it works very effectively on this particular kickoff return. It's a right up the middle. Now he hurdles one guy right there. That's the kicker, Williams.
Scott Frost on a quarterback draw. Got a little bit of room and was knocked down at the 45-yard line. They'll have a first down. 15 seconds remaining. Talk about return yardage, and Nebraska had 248 yards in returns in the first game against Michigan State. Trips left set again. 15 seconds remaining. And they just will spike the ball. Nebraska at this juncture would probably gladly take a field goal.
Yeah, 13 seconds left. Looks like they're going to give it one more shot. They got 4 wide receivers.
Got a look at Chris Brown, the kicker, who wants a chance.
Watch the quarterback draw. Not this time.
Cross just airing it out. And aired it out a little too deep, intended for Brendan Holbein. Cross completed just one pass in this first half. And if memory serves, I know it was his first pass, and I think it might have been a first or second offensive play for Nebraska.
It was early. Good defense that time by the freshman, Courtney Jackson.
Frost in his first game completed only 5. He was 5 of 12 for 74 yards. He was the second leading rusher in that ball game also.
Well, they're going to try to run one more play with 7 seconds left.
And they give it to Benning, and Benning gets a little break again.
Get down.
And he is down at the 37-yard line as the half runs out. And for the folks here in Tempe, Arizona, it was a first half to remember. Now, they might say that he was down before the clock stopped. We'll see.
Yeah, I think they got that timeout called with 1 or 2 seconds left on the clock, and they're going to give him one more play.
And now, I don't know. I think they're saying it's over.
Oh.
It's over. And Sun Devils doing a little whooping at Nebraska, and I'm not sure that's a great idea. In fact, I'm sure if Bruce Snyder knew that was going on, he would say, look, guys, get in here, don't talk about it, and we're going down to Andre Aldridge with Tom Osborne. Andre?
All right, Coach Osborne, a very uncharacteristic performance by your team in the first half. What are you going to tell them at half?
Well, we're going to have to play better, that's all, with both sides of the ball. Defense didn't do too bad. Offense, we got to move the ball.
All right, good luck on the second half, Coach. From Frank Tush Field at Sun Devil Stadium, the Arizona State Sun Devils lead the Nebraska Cornhuskers 17-0. Now let's head to College Football Today studios at Randy Sparagi.
All right, thanks very much, Andre. Wow, what a game in Tempe. We'll see if Arizona State can continue its success.
Fakes, bootlegs out to his left. He gets a lot of time, avoids the rush there, and Keith Poole is wide open in the middle of the end zone. Broken coverage. You had some playing zone, some playing man. Uncharacteristic, as we said earlier, of a Nebraska defense.
Then on the next Nebraska possession, a safety. In this game, Arizona State 2 points, and it could easily have been a touchdown.
Twice they mishandled the ball on the option, and you can see here that Pat Tillman almost has the ball for a touchdown. It gets out of bounds to safety, 2 points for Arizona State, and the ball.
That made it 9-0. Neese added a field goal from 33 yards, and then look at this, the snap, and Frost wasn't even looking for it, and this could have been another touchdown.
Credit the crowd with this one. Scott Frost does a nice job reacting to what was clearly an errant snap, one that he didn't expect. Gets on it in the end zone for a safety rather than a touchdown.
Well, Bruce Snyder said the crowd was going to have to be a part of all this, and sure enough, they were in the first half. Right now, we're going to the field. Andre Aldridge is with Bruce Snyder. Andre.
All right, thanks, Barry. Coach, you got to like the first half.
Well, we've got a lot of work to do. I'm really proud of my team. We played very hard that first half. We were fairly efficient. I just know there's a lot to do.
I realize that you still have a half to go, but are you having fun?
Oh, I'm having a great time. In fact, I just asked him, I said, what's the main thing you guys are doing? Is that we're having fun, Coach. So, it's good.
All right, best of luck in the second half. Barry, back upstairs with you guys.
All right, thanks very much, Andre. Well, it's always a lot of fun when your team is ahead of the #1 team in the country and a team that brought a 26-game winning streak with it by 17 points.
No kidding.
Nebraska will get it first. Key possession, I think, here, both for the Cornhuskers and for Arizona State. Williams will kick it off. Benning and Green to the deep man. Benning at a 42-yard return, remember. Not going to try this one now.
There you see Marcus Williams at his best, kicking it out of the end zone.
Take a look at the numbers here, and they are most impressive.
Well, yeah, I mean, the biggest numbers are here. total yards, and of course here and here 50 to 30 plays. Just great ball control on the part of Arizona State. It's keeping Nebraska offense off the field.
Only one turnover, but they put the ball on the carpet, the grass, not the carpet. Here's an option play this time on first down with Benning trying to get outside, and he is stopped. It's Green, I beg your pardon, not Benning at the 21-yard line, gain of a yard. Derek Rogers runs him out. Here are the first half possessions for Nebraska.
Nothing there but punts and safeties.
That's not good. And, you know, and the point is, and it was made by some of the folks up here, that if those two safeties, which easily could have been touchdowns, this game could be bordering, and I hesitate to use the word, but on blowout.
Now here you see Scott Frost trying to communicate with his team, and the crowd is just not letting him do it. And here you see the result.
Once again, it's Derek Rogers in the backfield. We talked about how quick off the ball Jamel Williams was for Nebraska. I think Derek Rogers equally quick.
Well, Derek Rogers also is coming from a down position. He catches the option on the first play, and here on the second play, look at the stunt. The cross stunt with the defensive tackle, and he's right there to make the play.
And he does not miss. Third down and 10. Big play early in the second half. Frost will put it up. Going deep, and the man fell down. Vedral was the intended receiver. He fell down. He got turned around. And my guess is that ball was going to be a little bit too long to begin with. And the Cornhuskers will have to give it up.
And Mitchell Friedman again on the coverage. He's had a great game so far.
J.R. Redmond will be the deep man, and ostensibly the Sun Devils will get good field position here to start the second half. Koch will kick it away. Redmond stands the 38-yard line. 10-man front shown by the Sun Devils. And this time they'll play run back. Twisting kick, tough kick to handle. It's going to drive Redmond way back to the 20-yard line. In fact, the 18-yard line. He is surrounded and down at the 24, 52-yard punt. And excellent coverage by the Cornhuskers on top of it. Vershawn Jackson makes the stop on Redmond.
ASU trying to set up a right return, and the Nebraska Cornhuskers just beat him down the field. Here you see the first half possessions for ASU.
Resulting in a touchdown the first time, and then Nebraska's defense really did do a pretty good job. But the numbers for Jake Plummer in the first half were absolutely sensational. 238 yards passing for Plummer in the first half. Out of the I formation on first down with Martin alone setback, 3 wide receivers, short drop. Plummer throws, pulls open at the 47-yard line. He had 2 receivers open that time. Lindsey Jackson was even more open than the man who caught the ball.
Yeah, Keith Poole is down. Looks like he's got either an ankle or a knee, and that could be a big blow for Arizona State.
To say the
least. Here's the isolation. Keith Poole just going to run a simple slant pattern and just well executed. This is obviously a route that they have thrown a lot over the years, and the ball is perfectly thrown. Hard to see what happened there. That's what it looks like. It looks like a cramp to me. Cramp in the calf.
Yeah, because nothing twisted or anything. So that would be the good news. And he was in a lot of pain. It is clearly.
And that's what they're doing. They're icing it and they're stretching it. And he'll be back, I'll bet you.
I think you can count on that. Incidentally, they're really working hard on Mike Fullman, and it has to be said that Fullman is really playing hurt. It is a position that Nebraska is not real deep in, because behind Fullman you got a freshman, even though he's a highly recruited freshman, Mike Brown. And everybody else with a lot of inexperience. They are not testing the freshman Ralph Brown, who is starting on the other side.
Right, we're going to take a look at this replay one more time. He may have gotten stepped on right there. Maybe not. Maybe not. I still think he's just got a cramp.
He is still down and hurt. It is a very painful thing to get an injury like that, although the good news, of course, for Arizona State is that it's not a debilitating injury. until he got up, or tried to get up.
The thing that impresses me the most, Barry, about ASU at this stage of the game is that they're continuing to attack the Nebraska defense. That's been one of the raps that the Arizona State team has faced the last couple of years. When they get a lead, they've had a tendency to sit on it, to run the ball, and try to run out the clock, and they've let teams get back in.
Well, we're going to take a timeout while Keith Poole is being ministered to. Still in a little bit of pain. 13:57 remaining first half. Devils have it short of midfield when we come back. A quick snap now to give to Martin, and Martin gets a little room, gets across midfield with a 49, a gain of 4.
Michael Martin continues to run hard. He ran hard in the first half. Looks like he's coming out the same way in the second half.
There's Poole on the sideline. He is okay. It was a cramp, and he came off, actually trotted off the field, so we expect that he will certainly be back. This time Jackson goes to the far side, and Mustafa comes to the near side. Martin the tailback, short drop. Plummer in trouble, rolling away, steps out of one tackle, steps out of another, and gets to about the 46-yard line before going out of bounds. We always talked about Jake Plummer's feet, and a good example right there.
Extremely quick feet. He wanted to go to the quick hitch to Lindsey Jackson, split out wide to the right. They came up in a bump and run coverage that time, and Jake just had to make things happen on his own. Here you see him stepping up, moving around, getting outside, breaking a tackle right there, and getting some yardage.
Slot left this time with Jackson in the slot. Single setback is Martin. And they give it to Martin. And Martin has the first down and more. At the 40, at the 35, down to the 34-yard line. A gain of
11. Okay, watch the right side of the ASU line. Just sustained contact with the Nebraska defensive line. And then it's just a matter of picking his hole. He does a nice job of that. Watch this. He gets up inside, bounces it to the outside. Again, just great execution on the part of the ASU offense.
Again, an excellent ceiling block, and I couldn't quite see it. Might have been Robertson again. Play fake this time. Plummer will throw in trouble and wrapped up way back at the 46-yard line. Coming on a blitz that time was Jamel Williams. That is his second sack.
He wanted to go to Ricky Boyer that time on a post pattern down the middle, and just great coverage. Ricky Boyer's right here. He's going to go to the post. Plummer's going to fake and bootleg. And as we said earlier, you better get open quick, because Plummer's not going to have a whole lot of time back there. Here he goes. He's bootlegging. See the coverage on Boyer. There's just no one to throw it to.
Fifth sack of the day and a big one. 11-yard loss on the play. Plummer throws this time, and it's incomplete, intended for Muhammad. Or rather, Mustafa thrown a little bit behind him. And it'll be third down.
Isaiah Mustafa is a kid that they've got a lot of hope for. Came in with some great credentials. He's a big receiver, 6'4", 206. Just hasn't gotten a lot of playing time with those great receivers that Arizona State has had. Poole is back in the game.
This time is to Battle, and Battle gets inside the 45 to about the 43-yard line, and the Sun Devils will give it up. Not a bad idea to come with a quick trap.
Well, it worked once earlier on about 3rd and 16. It didn't work that time.
So Anderson will come on to punt it away. 3 deep men for Nebraska. And Anderson hits this one straight up. And this looks like a pretty good one. Well, it hit at the goal line and took a bounce into the end zone. And we want to welcome the man of the moment, the man of the evening, and the guy who was the man for several years as the head coach here at Arizona State. He, of course, is Frank Cush. And Frank, congratulations on this well-deserved honor.
Well, thank you. You know, truly a tribute to all of the program for 25 years. We had great administration. In addition to that, we had some real fine coaches. The fans were super, and above all, the players. So I think you saw a lot of them out there. There's one sitting right next to me, and they made the difference in the program.
I think it's a tribute to you, too, all the players that were out there on the field. Must also also be pretty exciting for you to see this ball game tonight, the way your old team is playing.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's really surprising. They're doing an exceptionally good job because I've had an opportunity to assess Nebraska, and they've done a remarkable job of defense, and I hope that they continue to mix it up on offense and keep Nebraska off balance on defense because they use those multiple defenses.
Ever think you'd see your name on a stadium here?
Well, in some other way than that.
Great honor for you, I know, too, being carried off the field to play. That's something I suppose every coach aspires to. I'm not sure if that was the first time that's happened to you.
Well, you know, the guys that carry off, guys like Jim Shaughnessy, that didn't play, they were smaller than me, and I recruited them, and that's one of the things they were committed to do when I recruited them. I said, you got to carry me off the field every now and then. And they remember that. They're well trained.
The interesting thing, too, is there aren't a lot of coaches who can say they walked away a winner, and I think that can be said about Frank Kush.
Yes, we were very fortunate. As I said, we had a great program. You know, the intriguing thing about it also, the 25 years here, we went from the old border conference, which was really fantastic, and there's some great athletes. I remember Sammy Balk, the old coach from Hardin Simmons, the Washington Redskins, West Texas. And then we went to the Western Athletic Conference, and which I thought was a great addition in many respects. And now the Pac-10. In our latter years at Arizona State went into the Pac-10, and fortunately they were able to go to the Rose Bowl, and hopefully that this team can do the same thing.
And now look at this, 74,000 people in here. The stadium just looks great, and you were a very big part of building all of that.
Well, you know what amazed me about that? Look at all the red shirts out there.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? 25,000 people, and Danny and I were saying it looks like a lot more.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, they're out here. They really have fantastic support, and I'm sure that the Sun Devils, if they can hang on in here, they can get the same type of support.
1975, of course, the Fiesta Bowl, a victory over this Nebraska team.
Yes, that was probably the turning point as far as continued recognition for Arizona State. We worked our way into the Peach Bowl down in 1970, then the original Fiesta Bowl in 1971 against Florida State, ironically. A great game. We were fortunate to win 45-38, and then we had Pittsburgh in addition to Missouri. Then a Nebraska game, and as I said, it was a little over 20 years ago, and we were fortunate to win it.
Danny, tell me the story that you told me. I want you to tell America the story that you told me when you took over as quarterback for Frank Kush.
Well, I was a sophomore. I was here on a baseball scholarship, and Coach Kush got a hold of me, and I'll never forget going out on the field for our first game against the University of Houston, the game that Don Ekstrand won at the end with a field goal, and I was nervous and scared to death, and Coach Kush grabbed me and said, hey, the only thing you have to do tonight is get the ball from the center and give it to one of 10 guys without dropping it, and we're going to be okay.
And you were.
And we had offensive guards that were faster than I was.
Give this time is to Green, and Green gets pummeled, but not before he picks up the first down at the 35-yard line. Frank, I want to thank you for taking the time.
My pleasure. Enjoyed it.
It's a great thrill to see you be on it.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Well, you see Scott Vonderhahe being worked on. Again, it appeared to be cramps. They're icing his calf. Kind of interesting that it'd be the ASU players that are cramping up.
Frost on a play fake. We'll put it
tight end right down the middle. There he is.
Can't hang
Drop
on.
the ball.
How do you like that? Sheldon Jackson just had it in his hands and could not hold on. And Frost is now missed 7 in a row after hitting on his first one for 22 yards, and that one you certainly can't blame the quarterback.
There you see it right here. Tight end. It'll go right down the middle. And he is open. And this is a big play. Little bootleg action and well thrown ball by Scott Frost. Leads him over the inside. Oof.
I think we got another cramp here on Mitchell Friedman. He's standing back at the 35-yard line being tended to, and it's getting to be epidemic here.
Once again, ice to the calf.
Official timeout for injury.
This is the third member of the Arizona State Sun Devils who has suffered from that. There's Van Vonderhahe on the sideline. I wonder if just adrenaline, nerves, and all of that contributes.
Well, it would be a great strategy if the clock would continue to run during injury, but unfortunately for ASU, it doesn't.
Well, to get back to the game, what you're looking at is a 2nd down and 10 here, as Scott Frost had his man that time. 1 of 8 for 22 yards and just 6 yards rushing, so it's been a tough night for the transfer from Stanford. And it gave to Green, and they brought Thomas Simmons, and Simmons just happened to be in the right place to make the tackle. And if he wasn't there...
Yeah, Simmons was coming on a blitz from the safety position and just happened to blitz at just the right spot.
Green now 14 carries.
There it is. You're going to see him come right in out of there as a safety, and they're going to run right into him. And there he is to make the tackle.
14 carries, 48 yards for Green. Single setback, 2 tight ends now. And they run the option again. And Frost on the keeper is not going to get there. And Arizona State has defensed that about as well as you can. Ron McCook and Thomas Simmons make the stop.
Yeah, and Derek Smith took away the pitch man immediately. There was no question about what his assignment was on that play. He came from the outside linebacker position and went right after the tailback that time. So they're changing up their defenses, changing up their coverages, changing up the way they're defending the option, and it's creating a lot of confusion from the Nebraska offense.
So Cush again on to do the punting. And J.R. Redmond will be the deep man once again. 52-yarder last time for Cush. And he hits this one good too. Turns this one over. Redmond lets it go. It bounces at the 3-yard line. Takes a Nebraska hop and is down at the 3. And that's an excellent punt by Cush. We'll jump off the track. 17-0. 9:46 remaining. Third quarter. Today up on the police, though.
They must have struggled a little bit today.
You know, I want to point out one thing, too, on Nebraska's defense. We were talking about Mike Fullman playing hurt, as is Michael Booker. Well, normally Fullman is the backup to Booker, but in fact, he's been playing the right cornerback position in place of Brown. Brown was the freshman who started the ball game, played 1 or 2 series, and has not been in since then. So it's Booker and Fullman are the 2 corners for Nebraska. And neither one is 100%. Worst field position of the night to start a drive for Arizona State as Martin gets 6 on first down.
Yeah, and this is what's been happening all night. You've seen the Arizona State offensive line opening gaps, controlling the line of scrimmage, and Nebraska desperately right now needs to stop ASU after 3 plays, make them punt, get the ball back. You got great field position, and sometimes this is what it takes to light a fire under a defense. You get back to where you can smell the end zone.
Glenn Gable.
Another cramp.
Glenn Gable is injured. He was limping around, and that may be a cramp also. It's, as we said, it's epidemic. Although I'm not sure that this is a cramp.
No.
Maybe.
Injury player for Arizona State, number 7, Glenn Gable.
He is able to put a little weight on as they bring in Pat Thompson, no small player. He at 6'2", 336.
Looks like a miniature Nate Newton.
He does, yeah. Miniature at 336. And I think they already brought somebody on, so I don't think Thompson can report yet. They had already substituted for Gable. And so they'll have to play at least 1 play before Thompson can come back in. 9:10 remaining. Third quarter. 17-0. Yes, 17-0 Sundowns. Give to Martin, and he's going to be close to a first down. And I believe he has it. Really got to give a lot of credit to Arizona State's offensive line. Is right at the moment they're knocking Nebraska back off the ball.
Yeah, just straight guys with the fullback leading, and they're just reestablishing the line of scrimmage. Every time you can run the ball 2 times from your own 4-yard line and get a first down, that's saying a lot for your offensive line.
2 tight ends, 1 wide receiver. They give to Martin again, and Martin this time doesn't get very much. Maybe a yard. Jeff Ogard made the stop. We're going to go to the sidelines once more, and Andre Eldridge. Andre.
Well, Barry, that Nebraska defense having a tough time out there, and they're without Grant Listrom. Now, in the first half, you saw him get injured. He has a slight neck sprain, very sore, and they've done preliminary x-rays. Don't know if he'll be back in the game, and that's a big, big loss for them because they need him out there to try to stuff these Sun Devils.
Clearly is a big loss, and even though the defensive line is one of the deeper parts of this Nebraska team, but with both Booker and Fullman less than 100% and Listrom out, pump fake and a throw for Poole, and he overthrew him that time. I'm not sure Poole thought that was going to go where it did.
Well, it's a good thing he overthrew that one.
He's also still limping, Poole. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Danny.
Yeah, he's trying to run the quick slant and then take off. And there you see Keith Poole clearly limping as he goes back to the huddle. Yeah, he wants to come out. He can't run on that calf.
He's also not coming out. He can hardly run at all. And you have to hope that this play is not designed to go his way. In motion goes Boyer. And Plummer straight back, throws over the middle. Caught by Bush, the tight end, for a first down. Dragging Nebraska tacklers with him. Jay Foreman went for a ride, and Jamel Williams hooked on for a couple of yards, too. Now they get Poole out of there.
Steve Bush has been a real factor for the Sun Devils so far this season. He's been kind of an unsung hero, especially in the Washington game.
Oh, there goes another one, Danny.
Well, what can I say?
Slot left this time, first down. Offset eye with Martin, the tailback, and they give it to Martin on a draw, and Martin gets by Williams and gets to the 30-yard. That only got a couple of yards, but he ran right by Jamel Williams, and Jason Peters stops him. Peters' brother, of course, a very prominent member of this Nebraska Cornhusker team last year. Eating fruit, and that's another remedy.
Trying to get a little vitamin C in there. That's Keith Poole clearly cramping up a little bit.
Actually, bananas were the thing that I'd always heard were good for cramps. Because of the potassium. There's battle fighting. It's about the 33-yard line. Gain about 3 yards on the play. It's going to be 3rd down and 6. But we were talking in the break. I believe Arizona State can afford to get too conservative with its offense here.
No, and so far they haven't until these last 2 plays. They've had a lot of success throwing the ball on 1st and 2nd down. But, you know, in the series before this, when they were backed up, they ran it out 2 plays too. So clearly, if you can, you'd like to keep it on the ground and eat up that clock.
Big play here, 3rd down and 5. And Plummer will go up and throws for Jackson. And Jackson never had a chance at that one, and so the Sun Devils will have to give it up.
Big stop for the Nebraska defense. See if their offense can get it together now.
Benning, Fullman, and McFarland are the deep men to receive the punt of Anderson. Play run back all the way, and this may be returnable. Well, it takes a bounce. And now it goes the other way, and Sun Devils are down at the 28-yard line. Not a long punt, but in its own way, an effective punt, 38 yards, but no return. 6:23 remaining, 3rd quarter, 17-0, Arizona State.
To create a source of energy as healthy as this Power Bar energy bar, you'd have to start with real fruit. Throw in some other natural sweeteners, grains for complex carbs, and a whole bunch of vitamins and minerals. Personally, I think you'd be better off buying a Power Bar. Sure, candy bars are fun to eat at the movies, but life isn't one big movie. So for the energy you need to meet the challenges in your life, rely on something more nutritious than a candy bar. Rely on a Power Bar energy bar. It's real energy for the real world.
This is my idea of a challenge. So when I took the high endurance challenge from Old Spice, that's what I thought I was getting into. What I got was a sure thing. High endurance deodorant. It evaporates less quickly, it also lasts longer, and protects better. Old Spice even guarantees it. Or call 1-800-PROVE-IT and they'll buy you a stick of yours. So remember, this is a challenge. This is a sure thing. High endurance from Old Spice. And now you've got proof. Guaranteed. Now Old Spice is going online. Our destination, exhilaration.
Terry Pendleton guides the Braves into Florida, hoping for an old-fashioned fish fry. It's world champion Braves baseball, live Wednesday night on Sports South.
A rubber core, some string and leather, and 108 stitches. I'm fascinated by its design, what it can do at the plate. Do you think they realized just what they had created?
Well, Danny, I have to say this is is a graphic I never thought we would see tonight.
You know, it's a critical time right now. If they're going to keep this string alive, it's what we call in the game a gut check. Nebraska Cornhuskers have got to be doubting themselves just a little bit. They got to start believing at some point that they might lose this game.
Huskers go out of the I formation with 2 tight ends. Cross throws caught this time by Holbein, but only for about 3 yards.
This might have been designed as a hook and lateral. You're going to see Frost come out right here and throw the quick hitch to Holbein. It looked like he was going to lateral it. But good coverage by Pat Tillman.
It's time to give it green. Nothing doing. Stop the 35. Might have lost a yard. Brent Bernstein and Vince Amy on the stop. Bernstein just doing a terrific job.
That whole defensive front for ASU has done a great job all night.
Give this time and stop short of the first down again is Green. Vanderahi on the play that time. And there is a look that you don't often see on the face of a Cornhusker fan.
That pretty much says it all, doesn't it, Barry?
I'm telling you.
That's how the players are feeling right about now.
And they're going to go on 4th down and 2. And what a huge play this is. They go out of the power I, and they give it to Green. And Green makes the first down. Across the 40 to the 42, Jason Simmons makes the stop.
Yeah, it's great running. See him break a tackle right off guard right there. And then stays inbound and gets the first down. Great running by Green.
So first down, and the give this time is to Benning, and Benning loses the football, and it's still loose, and I think the Cornhuskers got it. I don't know.
They're pointing for ASU.
They are. It's going to be the Sun Devils' ball. That's one of those that could have possibly gone either way.
They're talking about it now.
And they're staying with it. I was about to say, too, ASU right at the moment is playing with a makeshift secondary. And
here's the play again. Again, it's Mitchell Friedman slapping it out. He did that once earlier in the game.
That's where I thought.
Well, that's an incredible call. No one ever had the ball.
Well, Mitchell Friedman
still trying to get it.
I think Mitchell Friedman. First down at the 45-yard line, another huge break. Out of the backfield, this is Redmond trying to get onside, and he is run down. And there's not a team in America that can make that defensive play except Nebraska. Jamel Williams just was not going to let Redmond get around him, and he had an angle on it.
I mean, that's a linebacker running down one of the fastest players on the Sun Devil team. There you see it again. There's the quick throw. There's Jamel Williams running him down.
3 wideouts again, a slot left this time. Poole's still not back in the ballgame. They spread the field, give it to Martin, and Martin gets about 4. John Hess on the tackle. Hess has been all around the ball all night long for the Cornhuskers. The Cornhusker bench, the offensive line, which has been the pride of this Cornhusker unit, and is doing its job tonight. 3 minutes, 28 seconds remaining, third quarter. 17-0. Arizona State against the #1 ranked Nebraska Cornhuskers. Huskers show blitz, but don't come. They come instead with a twist. And they get the ball out to Battle, and Battle will be stopped well short of the first down at midfield. Jamel Williams again on the tackle, and Jamel Williams
He's all over the field. Another zone defense by the Cornhuskers, and you're not going to get 6 yards throwing it out there in front of Jamel Williams.
Jamel Williams, according to Charlie McBride, God made him with loose joints. He's always had ACL problems, and he always bounces back. He calls him silent but deadly, and he's been just that tonight. High end-over-end kick takes a bounce, and the Sun Devils will down at about the 12-yard line. A bit of confusion again on the punt return team for Nebraska as to who was going to handle that.
Yeah, another good punt also by Lance Anderson. Prior to this game, he was averaging 47.1 punting the ball. He was having a good year.
36-yard punt as you look at some of the scores out of the Pac-10. Washington looking very good today, I thought. Washington State in a shootout. Stanford having trouble scoring with its freshman quarterback. They go out of the I formation once again. And this time Frost will go up on first down. And this is everybody intended once again for the Vendrell.
They have just never been able to get the running game going. As a result, the cornerbacks for ASU are staying soft. They're staying back, and they're just not biting on the runs at all. There you see it, the sets, just probably a pretty good throw. Larry Johnson, great pressure on the play.
So it'll be second down and 10.
We've seen a lot of players, Barry, in the ASU lineup now that are not normally in the game at this point.
No, they've gone deep into their depth chart. Rashida is not even on our board. He's playing safety right now. Throw, and what a shot. Fright Night. I was just going to say, that's why they call him Fright Night. And Brendan Holbein may remember him. Listen to this in real time. Well, crowd's too loud. You couldn't hear it. Maybe that's it. Frost really struggling.
2 for 11 for 28 yards, and the third quarter is almost over.
Holbein just now making his way off the field. And the question they're probably asking him is, which field? They go out of the I formation once again on third down and 10. And Frost will go up again. In trouble, steps up, and down he goes in the arms of Derek Rogers.
ASU just played a real simple zone that time. The corners rolled up, safeties played half the field deep, and Nebraska clearly is not used to being third and 10. Nothing to do but just tuck it away and get what you can.
Well, last year they averaged 7.7 yards every time they ran the football, so they would likely not get to too many third and 10s.
When you run the ball like that, you don't get much practice.
So J.R. Redmond will be the deep man once again to receive the punt of Cush. Short kick this time, angled away from Redmond, and it's going to wind up at the 45, maybe the 46-yard line. 31-yard punt. Sun Devils will have excellent field position. 1 minute, 29 seconds remaining third quarter. Barry Tompkins, Danny White alongside. We could be witness to one of the great upsets in the past several years as the #1 ranked Nebraska Cornhuskers have come in here lining a 26-game win streak. And the Arizona State Sun Devils have beat them on both sides of the ball. Yes, they've had every break, but they have also, if you take the breaks away, I have a feeling that the Sun Devils would still be winning this football game.
Absolutely.
17-0. Battle gets the call, trying to get outside, and does. Dragged out at the 37 behind Pat Thompson's blocking.
The thing you got to realize is that the Nebraska Cornhuskers face this kind of effort week in and week out all year long on every team that they play.
Gain of 7 on first down. A little concern, I think, on the bench of the Cornhuskers. Out of the I formation on second down. Plummer gives to Battle once more, and Battle this time doesn't get much. Might have gotten a yard on the play. Jason Wiltz was there. Jason Peter was also there.
ASU with the ball. It's going to put serious doubt in the Cornhuskers' minds.
Plummer gives the battle again, and battle not going to get there. Only got about a yard.
Great surge by the Nebraska defensive line that time. Great surge.
Now what do you do here? Do you go on 4th down on the 36-yard line and hope your defense gets it done?
Well, the crowd wants them to.
I think they are going to.
Looks like they're going to. A little too far out for a field goal.
Interesting stat handed us by Rick Murphy. 103 yards of rushing for Nebraska in this ballgame and 99 for Arizona State. And that counts minus 27 yards in sacks against Plummer. Plummer going up. Pulls it down and threw it for Jackson, incomplete. Now there's a gutsy call, and I'll tell you what, I like it.
I like it too, Barry. Tell you what, this is something you never would have seen from an ASU team in years past. Here you see the play. Gets a little bit of time that time. He actually was able to pull it down.
You know what happened?
Ball got tipped.
And also, Lindsey Jackson stopped his route.
I don't think Lindsey expected to get the ball late like that. Eric Warfield tipped that ball, knocked it away.
So the Huskers will have good field position as they start at the 37-yard line. And a little movement as once again Eric Anderson jumps. And again, the Huskers will start with long yardage.
We've just seen this over and over again tonight, Barry. It's just unbelievable that a team that's this well coached and this well disciplined would commit the number of mental mistakes that they have in this game.
5-yard
I
penalty.
started to say earlier, Bruce Snyder said, and he was not blowing smoke at us, certainly, nor was he blowing smoke at Tom Osborne, but he said Nebraska is the best coached team in college football. And, you know, you can certainly make a case for that. They do not self-destruct. Tonight may be that exception. Vedral comes in motion. And they gave it to the fullback, Schuster, and Schuster didn't get but about a yard, maybe two. Damian Richardson just not fooled. And with that, we come to the end of the third quarter, and this crowd is starting to believe that perhaps this can really happen. 17-0, Sun Devils. Played as a graduate student in 1995, named the outstanding student in the ASU College of Business, and had a 3.99 GPA as an undergraduate. He's now an injured reserve as a member of the Charlotte Panthers, or the Carolina Panthers, I beg your pardon. Play fake this time, and Frost rolls out, comes back across the brain, caught by Verdell.
And he could have run that ball for about 10 yards.
Vedral was the receiver on that. And Vedral comes out hanging an arm, which could be a shoulder injury of some sort. Notes after 3 quarters, nobody scored in the third quarter. Plummer has already broken the ASU career passing record of my partner, Danny White. And a tough night for Scott Frost. First down at the 47. Play fake, pass. And too tall. Intended that time for Brendan Holbein. Marcus Soward defending.
And actually, great coverage by Jason Simmons once again. I think he wanted to go down the field. But Simmons was right where he was supposed to be.
Simmons, remember, the backup to Mitchell Freeman, although both of them were out there on that last play. The give this time is to Green, stood straight up.
And another 3rd and 10 for Nebraska, Barry.
And you're right. I'll bet they've seen more 3rd and 10s in this ballgame tonight than possibly they did all year last year. Jeremy Statters had a nice game here to stop.
There you see the ASU defense just plugging the hole. There's just nowhere there for Green to run.
Stat played right through Adam True. 3rd and 10. They go out of the shotgun. And Frost, under siege, gets away, throws incomplete. And again, Mitchell Freeman was the man coming up on Vedral. Maybe Swayder might have got a hand on that ball. I don't know, but Freeman really stuck the intended receiver.
Watch the great move here on the outside. Right here, he's going to come inside and put pressure, serious pressure, on Scott Frost. See, that's Derek Rogers. You see the inside move. Forces crossed out of the pocket. And then the ball got tipped at the line of scrimmage.
So it was Suedo who got a piece of the ball. And again, the Huskers will have to give it up.
And another timeout because they only have 10 guys on the field.
That is really uncharacteristic. And I'm sure the folks in Lincoln will be the first to agree with that. And that's one of the first times I've seen Tom Osborne visibly show not so much concern as anger. 17-0, Devils.
Florida was. Well, these Sun Devils came here today, and they told me that they were in for a 60-minute heavyweight battle, and now it's tag team. The defense is coming off the field, telling the offense guys, go out there and get them, because they are not ready to be physical with the Sun Devils tonight.
Get them and use a little as a clock while you're getting them, I'm sure, is the popular theme amongst the defense right at the moment. So Kush to punt again. Poole and Redmond, twin safeties for the Sun Devils. Turns this one over, they'll let it go, and again takes a good hop and just skips into the end zone over the outstretched arms of Damon Benning. Well, Damon Benning plays on all the special teams. That's Van der Ahe, and those are cramps on both thighs, and probably a little dehydration as well.
Which means we've got to credit a lot of the backups for ASU tonight because a lot of them have had to step up and play. And they've done a great job.
Two tight ends, single wide out on first down. Play fake, and Plummer will put it up. Throws underneath, caught once more by one of his tight ends. This time it was Devin Kendall. And that's going to be about a yard short of a first down, a gain of 9.
There you see it again. Another little play fake and a bootleg to the right. And Devin Kendall, look at the block by Jeff Hawk right there. Nice job, well executed again. And the tight ends have had a huge game tonight for ASU. Here you see it again. Here comes Hawk. Look at that block.
It's just a power formation for ASU. Single wide receiver, two tight ends, and they give this time to Redmond. And Redmond is stopped for a loss of about a yard by Mike Rucker. Rucker in the ballgame for Grant Wistrop. Rucker had 2.5 sacks in the Huskers' opening game victory against Michigan State. Was a backup at outside linebacker last year, asked to play the down line this year. So a 9-man front this time. And Plummer rolls out, has no place to go, and has to eat the football. And once again, the Sun Devils are going to have to give this up unless they get a very generous spot, and I don't think they will. So the defense is going to be called on to get it done once again for the Sun Devils. That's asking a lot.
I'm surprised Coach Snyder isn't going for it again. That would be asking a little much, I think, Barry.
So Fullman will be in the middle with McFarland and Benning. Twisting short kick taken on the dead run by McFarland, and he gets it to the 42-yard line. 37-yard punt, about a 6-yard return. Pat Tillman makes the stop, and the Huskers will have good field position when we come back, but trailing 17-0. And the Pac-10 Conference. Incidentally, you know, a Sun Devil. Well, why am I telling you this? You went to school here. You know about this. I'm not even going to tell you now. Okay. Sun Devil is not a devil. It's a dust storm in the desert. Give this time on first down. Once more is to Benning, and Benning doesn't get much. And again, it's Brent Bernstein. You can make a pretty good argument for Brent Bernstein as the player of the game here.
Boy, there have been a lot of them tonight, Barry. And now what we're seeing is the Nebraska offense faced with not only just scoring, but scoring quickly because they've got to score 3 times in order to get back in this game.
See what Nebraska has done as compared to Arizona State offensively, and less than half of the yardage. Frost will go up this time. Comes back across the field to Benning, and Benning is wrapped up. What a fine defensive play once again. Am I being redundant when I say that? By Derek Rogers.
Well, yeah, there's another guy. Bernstein on one end, Rogers on the other end. Mitchell Friedman, Jake Plummer. There's so many heroes tonight. It's for ASU. It's just incredible.
And we should point out too. Remember, just a little while ago, we took a shot of a guy on a stretcher with ice bags on both thighs.
And he's back in the game.
He's back in the ball game. Scott Bonder on. That's tough. Frost throws, and it's nowhere. It was intended, I think, for Green.
Wasn't even looking for the ball that time.
Well, yeah,
it was Green or Tim Carpenter.
He had to unload it. Yeah. Might have been Tim Carpenter. I think you're right. 4 for 16, 46 yards.
Look at the hit right there on Scott Frost. Derek Smith. There's another guy we called out several times tonight. He played a great game.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to find individual heroes on a night like this.
There you see again, 10 guys on the field.
This time they don't have to burn a timeout. Nice play by Fish to field that snap, and Redmond will try it. He's got some room. Look out here, folks. 25-30, 35 and out of bounds. And once again, it's only the speed of Nebraska that prevented a huge play.
Here you see it again. Nice little move. Outside. See the wall set up right there. And here comes the Nebraska pursuit. Jamel Williams, I believe, once again.
And Schuster. They have a double. They have double numbers.
28, that's right.
It's a play-by-play and color commentator's nightmare. Plummer straight back on first down, looking deep. Look at this. Unable to hang on was Jackson. Had it on his fingertips, couldn't hang on. That's the one that Plummer wanted. That was the nail in the coffin right there.
It really was. Just straight speed up the sideline. Again, the protection's good. Plummer sets his feet. A little more air on this ball, and it's a completion.
He jumped a little too soon,
Just a little bit too flat. Great spot.
I think he left his feet a little bit too early. Second down and 10. Incumbent upon the offense of the Sun Devils to keep the defense off the field for a little while. Here's Martin on a swing. Martin at the 40, at the 45, close to a first down. They're going to say stepped out at the 43, 2 yards short. Jamel Williams again runs him down. And you got to put him on your list of heroes tonight, too.
Here you see it again, just a simple little flare out of the backfield. Safe throw. Get in the hands of a great runner.
Oh, they want a face mask, I think, the Nebraska fans, and they got a pretty good argument here. Third down, a long yard. Sun Devils have not done well in short yardage situations. Martin will be close. I don't know.
A little short, I believe.
We got a mixed vote up here in our booth. I think you're right, though. I think he's short.
He may have held that ball out over the line. He had to get across the 45 to get the first down.
Official timeout for measuring.
I don't know about this one. This is
well, why would the ball's clearly on the other side of the?
That's right.
Clearly on the other side of the line.
I think Bruce Snyder hoping that line's crooked. And now he's got a real decision. I would have to think he's got to punt this ball.
The line is crooked.
Now he's going to go. And
that would be the break to end all breaks, Barry. To have a spot, give you a first down. In a situation like that, they're going.
Well, they're just brimming with confidence now.
Yeah, they really are.
And a first down for Martin at midfield. And that will get the crowd jacked, will keep the defense off the field, which I'm sure is what was going through Bruce Snyder's mind. It's a gutsy call, and one that leaves him wide open to criticism should things turn the other way, but I believe this call has to be made at this juncture of the game.
Well, you got to look at the way the team has played all night, and in light of that, you can make decisions like this. There's Coach Osborne.
Martin this time gets nothing. Jamel Williams again, and Williams is a big-time player. Only 210 pounds out of Maryville, Indiana.
Covers a lot of ground in that outside linebacker position. They call him the Sam linebacker. He lines up on the strong side of the ASU offense.
Pick the blitz up here, but it caves in, and Plummer is sacked for the 6th time. Back at the 40-yard line. You know, you still, somebody was speculating that if you're going to beat Nebraska, you got to get them on their worst night, and you have to play at your very best, which I think is what has happened here tonight. I think this Nebraska football team is still going to make a heck of a lot of noise, and when you look at the rankings at the end of the year, I would venture a guess that they're going to be amongst the elite.
Well, there's too much pride in this program for this team to lay down, and I don't think anybody expects that to happen.
Gets back to the 45-yard line, and now the Sun Devils will have to give it up.
It was interesting, though, Barry, that this Nebraska team was out here at 10 o'clock last night practicing, which is midnight in Lincoln. I'm just wondering if they might be a little bit fatigued. I'm sure Coach Osborne knows what he's doing.
He said kids don't care. We asked him about that.
He really does. He really believes that, feels that way. I'm not going to argue with him.
We're going to let this one go. It's down at the 1-yard line, inside the 1-yard line. And it's just all going the way of the Sun Devils. As we said, Huskers probably at their worst, Devils arguably at their best. And it shows on the scoreboard, it shows in every little thing that's happened out there tonight.
Here we're going to see it again. Good decision to let the ball hit. It hits on the 7-yard line. And just great hustle down the field by Chris Finn, one of the ASU special teams players. What a great job keeping that ball out of the end zone.
They start actually short of the 1-yard line. And Frost will go up on 1st down, and it's incomplete. You know, it really makes you start to wonder about it. Washington, I thought, played absolutely terrific football today against Arizona and last week against BYU. They come down here and score 41, and Arizona State beats them. Now you got to start asking yourself, how good is Washington?
Yeah.
And if Washington's as good as we think they might be, how good is Arizona State if they beat Nebraska? Really into this play fake, Frost will throw out of his own end zone, throws it away. Intended for Holbein. Derek Rogers in his face again.
Once again, all over Scott Frost, and Frost didn't have a chance.
Saw the numbers on Frost, and that's not going to get it done. 3rd down. Out of the shotgun this time. And Frost will put it up again. Throws for Cheatham, caught at the 11-yard line. It's going to be enough for 1st down. I beg your pardon, it was Holbein, not Cheatham. Sauer defending.
And just a simple curl route. And you wonder why they haven't been doing this all night. First time we've seen them throw that type of a route out of the shotgun formation. Hurry up offense now for Nebraska.
With 7:40 remaining, and there is certainly a sense of urgency. Play fake. Frost now will have to run. He's got no place to go. And guess who's on the bottom of that pile?
It's Derek Rogers.
You got that right. I mean, this guy has had a huge game against arguably the best team in America. And remember, this is only the third Division 1A game that he has played.
He's had more experience playing the trumpet than he has playing football.
That's right. He's a wonderful story. I mean, he's a guy who did not play high school football. He went in the Navy, was a medical technician in the Navy, weighed only 170 pounds when he got out of high school.
Dead ball, personal foul, offense, half the distance to the goal, second down.
Going from bad to worse for the Cornhuskers here. Derek Rogers now 212 pounds, came out of Riverside. 40 schools offered him scholarships. In fact, they tell an interesting story about him, that they said, where do you think he'd like to go to school? You got all these schools after you, and he said, Laverne. And Laverne is this little college not far from Riverside Community College. He had no idea how good he was. Frost on his own end. Look out! Hit as he threw, and a nice toss by Frost. And he's going to remember that.
There you see Rogers, watch him go around the outside, just outruns True. Puts a shot on Scott Frost.
Well, remember Bruce Snyder telling us about that. He's shown in practice, and Bruce always talks about his acceleration to the quarterback or the ball carrier. Still, 3rd and 10. In trouble. There's another safety. And guess who made it? Mr. Rogers. 3rd safety. How good is your defense playing, folks?
Not only is he just a great rusher, look at the move here. He starts outside, comes back inside this time, and all over Scott Frost. And again, got to credit the coverage also. He had no place to go. It starts out back inside, just extremely quick, and he has worn out Mike True tonight.
What a player! I mean, this game. In fact, even we did the first game here. Derek Rogers had not ever played a college game of football. And the Washington coaches were saying, we have to identify where he is, so they knew about him even before he laced on his shoes. 3 safeties.
That's Adam True, not Mike True, although I'm sure he would probably rather me call him Mike at this point.
Crowd now thinking that they are witness to one of the great upsets in recent years. This is going to be battle back at the 7-yard line. For 15 to the 20. Got to look out. Steps outside. 30, 35. At the 40, out of bounds, the 43-yard line. Take another look at this move that Rogers makes 3 good moves and then explodes to Scott Frost.
Just great quickness. Enough said about that play. My gosh.
Second largest crowd in ASU history on hand here tonight. 74,089. There's a flag down at the 47-yard line. Well, we might be seeing one of the big moments.
Unsportsmanlike on the kick return. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against the Sun Devils. Let's go to the sidelines and Andre Aldridge. Andre, what's going on down there?
Well, guys, on a night like this, you can't talk about Derek Rogers quite enough. You want to know how serious he is? Well, during two-a-days, when it's about 120 degrees out here, during a series of sprints, Bruce Snyder allows the team to take their pads off and do the sprints. Rogers told the coach, hey, coach, I'm going to play with my pads on. I'm going to run my sprints with my pads on. That sets a tone for everybody.
And, in fact, he added that his teammates all looked at him and said, are you nuts? Juan Roque is a little bit slow getting up.
And we always hated guys like that at camp, Barry, because it made the rest of us look like a bunch of wimps out there running around without any pads on.
I hate guys like that.
Yeah.
Roque is has been in a big battle all day today, too. One rookie, a guy who fills up an elevator. I can tell you that, having shared one with him. 6'8", 319, bright guy. Martin gets across the 35 to the 36-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 4. Jay Foreman makes the tackle for the Huskers, and the clock now the enemy of the Nebraska Cornhuskers. And this time Pat Thompson is slow getting up. Interesting that the heat has taken more of a toll on Arizona State than it has on Nebraska. And there's a lot of guys puffing out there. Nebraska running people in and out all night long. As we said, they suited 85 for this game. Spread the field with 3 wide receivers this time. And they give the ball again to Martin. And Martin's going to be stopped for a loss of about a yard, and the Sun Devils will punt it away once again. Jamel Williams, who has done everything that he could for this Nebraska team tonight. We don't have any tackle counts, but I'm sure if we did, Williams is well into double digits. Also, we should point out the Nebraska players, you might have noticed even on Tom Osborne's hat, the number 18, that is for their quarterback, Brooke Behringer, who was tragically killed in an automobile accident.
The plane crash, I believe.
A plane crash, I'm sorry.
He was flying his own plane, and tragic accident. He's an outstanding young man.
Anderson fields a one-hopper this time. And this is going to be returned by Shelvin Wiggins. Shevin Wiggins, that is, that time. Wiggins getting out of the ball game and running it back to about the 32-yard line. A 46-yard punt, a 12-yard return, 4:17 left, and we'll be back.
Remember that first bike?
That's next Saturday at 3:30 Pacific time. ASU and Oregon right here on the Pac-10 game of the week. Scott Frost's evening is over, and it will be one to remember, and not positively, for the young quarterback out of Wood River, Nebraska. Matt Turman will come on to see what he can do. Turman out of Wahoo, Nebraska. And he'll go up on 1st down, and he's got no place to go. And he's wrapped up by Scott Bondurant. They have had more sacks against them tonight than in the last year and a half.
Coach Snyder saying, keep that clock running. Look at him, looking up at it.
Well, there's a comparison this year to last year for the Nebraska offense. And it's the same players they're playing against, but they're players with a year more experience, and as you said, they're playing on their home turf. Screen this time for a fullback. And Schuster has run out of bounds at about the 42-yard line. I think it's going to be enough for a 1st down. Pat Tillman runs him out. Now it's starting to be a question of pride for this Arizona State defense. Can they keep the Cornhuskers off the board? Remember, this is a team averaged 52 points a game last year.
And they're looking, Barry, at one of the great turnarounds in the history of the NCAA when you look at last year's game versus this year's game.
Turman looking for someplace to go, and he says hello to a couple of Sun Devils. Vince Amy. And believe he's not saying once in love with Amy.
He was looking for Bedrell that time, coming inside from the split-end position, and looked like he just couldn't see him because of the defensive surge of Arizona State.
Scott Frost, tough night, learning process for the quarterback. Give this time to Green, and Green almost broke it. The official goes down, and Green goes down short of the 1st down. It'll be 3rd and 2. Eric Smith made the tackle. Turman, a senior who started one game back in 1994, but then was a backup to Frazier and Behringer. Walk-on back in 1992. 3rd down and short. And the option. And Turman on the keep gets it to the 42-yard line. 1st down. Scott Bondurant, he runs him down.
Well, Turman looks like the quickest guy on the field, and he may be right now. Everybody else is dead tired, and he comes in with fresh legs and looks great. Nice little run right there by Turman.
2 minutes, 32 seconds remaining. And as you said, it's become a principal issue now, I believe, for the Arizona State Sun Devils. Turman will go up, looking deep, and throws way too far, intended for Kenny Cheatham. Kenny Cheatham, incidentally, out of Phoenix, South Mountain High School, recruited by Arizona State.
Well, Coach Osborne is also going to learn a lot about his team in these next 2 minutes. Going to find out who wants to play and how badly they want to play, and he'll watch this part of the game film, I'll bet, closer than any other part.
Lance Brown slots inside of Holbein to the far side. Turman rolls out, flag down. Pass is complete to Brown, but I think this may come back.
Got a Cornhusker without a helmet running around.
Chris Dishman was the hatless Husker. Kind of a stereotypical Cornhusker offensive line. Starting line of Adam True, 6'6", 305. Dishman, 6'3",
Illegal
310.
motion on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Aaron Taylor, 6'1", 305. John Zadeska, I beg your pardon, 6'2", 290. And Eric Anderson, 6'4", 305. So it'll be 2nd and 15 instead of a first down. Turman throws a swing this time. And still on his feet, and Green gets it down to the 25-yard line. That'll be a first down. Derek Ford makes the stop.
Yeah, very well executed flare screen that time. Lyman got out in front, got a couple of good blocks.
Inside of 2 minutes left, 1:58. That shutout for 23 years. Blitz comes, and Turman hit as he throws. And if that pass was caught, that was going to go a long way. But Schuster unable to hang on, and once again, Derek Rogers was cuffed. No, I beg your pardon, it was Derek Ford.
Well, they had a screen pass set up that time. Little fake to the right. He's trying to throw a screen to the left. He never sees Derek Ford. But you're right, Barry. They had a blitz on, and had that been completed, it would have gone a long way.
Out of the shotgun on 2nd and 10. Slot left with Bedrill in the slot. Double slot, as a matter of fact. Here's the pitch this time to Green. Off the option. Green's got room, and Green fumbles. And the Sun Devils have it again. And that just puts a capper on what has been an evening of disaster offensively for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Pat Tillman recovers a fumble. And I don't believe he's hurt. I believe that is just a sheer frustration.
Well, he's staying down on the field. He's getting up now. Here you see the play. Nice cut up by Green. He puts his head down, he's just going for extra yards, and the ball just gets knocked out again.
He never put the ball away at any time, and I'm sure that that's something that, as much of a fundamentals guy as Tom Osborne is, I'm sure he will have a little talk about that. I mean, I think the unusual thing, last year, nobody was ever around Green. They might not have noticed he didn't put the ball away.
Well, it has just all gone wrong for the Cornhuskers tonight.
Minute and 39 seconds left. And they give it to Martin again. Martin gets the 5, gain of about a yard. The clock keeps ticking. Inside of 1:30 now. Second and 9 of the clock. Murphy was just asking me if I've ever called a game that was as much of an upset as this, and I'm just sort of racing back through my mind.
We're all just kind of sitting here in shock, I think.
I mean, in all candor, when you and I and all our crew talked last night about this game and about what chance Arizona State had as Bush, I think that is, limping off the field. I don't think any of us really gave them a legitimate chance to win, and I say that being, I like Bruce Snyder an awful lot. He's one of my favorite people in college coaching, and you always like to see your friends do well, but I really didn't think they had a prayer of winning this game.
I don't think anybody did, Barry, and this will go down as one of the great victories in ASU history. And all of a sudden, people are going to start talking about that ASU-USC matchup 3 weeks down the road. And hopefully they're not going to get too carried away, because they got a couple of tough ones coming up between now and then, one next week against Oregon. But this is just a great, great night for the Arizona State University Sun Devils and for Bruce Snyder.
Well, let the joy reign here in Tempe. It has not happened in the regular season since November 14th, 1992, when Nebraska lost to Iowa State in Ames, Iowa, 19-10. 26-game win streak is snapped, and it goes back to 37 games if you count the regular season. As you so aptly put it, one of the great victories in Arizona State history. This is a good football team, and we knew that, but I never thought I'd see what I saw tonight. 19-0.
Sports South, delivering a sports lineup that packs a mean punch.
Chevron, simply smarter. Well, tonight's Power Bar player of the game, and we could have picked anyone of a number, but I think this guy clearly stood out amongst the group of standouts. Derek Rogers, 9 tackles, quarterback sack. He was around a ton of other sacks. Got that last safety, a big-time player. So once again, the final score in an upset above all upsets, Arizona State 19, Nebraska nothing. For Danny White and Andre Aldridge, I'm Barry Tompkins saying so long from Tempe, Arizona.